Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
Dougie, you've got 7 seconds to sell the show after 10.
I don't want to sell the show, I want to sell the news, because it's important, even if it's fake news. Over to the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Pale, pubescent beasts roam through the streets and coffee shops. Their prey gather in herds with stiff knee-length skirts and white ankle socks. But while they search for a mate, my type hibernate in bedrooms above, composing their songs of love. Young uniform minds in uniform lines and uniform ties, run around with trousers on fire and signs of desire they cannot disguise. While I try to find words as light as the birds that circle above, to put in my songs of love.
Take it.
Fate doesn't hang on a wrong or right choice. Wrong or right choice. Fortune depends on the tone of your voice. So sing while you have time. Let the sun shine down from above and fill you with songs of love.
Take me.
Up your voice.
So let's sing while we still can, while the sun rises high up above. Wonderful songs of love, beautiful songs of
weren't actually on the record as me and Dougie.
That was lovely.
2 of those voices were not on the record. But which voices were not on the record? 0344 499 1000. I'll give you a clue. One of them was mine. The other one was this guy.
Yep, or text on 874.
Yeah. Good evening, dear listener. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. A very important guest has thrust his way into our lives once again. It's my friend, not yours, although if you met him, he would be. It's Mr. Dougie Anderson.
And it's a pleasure to be here
Yes.
on what The Observer are
Yeah.
calling one of the best radio shows in the UK. And I
Of
concur with
2016. It
that.
was in
I
the top
concur
10.
with that. I think Miranda Sawyer is
Yes.
a very good cultural barometer.
She knows.
I've always thought.
Her finger's on the pulse.
And I didn't know about this because I follow her on Twitter, and then I went to the link and I saw her talking about the Iain Lee show
Yes.
on Talk Radio, and I agreed with everything she said.
Now, let's get this out of the way. We are friends, but we don't follow each other on Twitter because we're old-fashioned friends.
Yeah.
We don't need the approval of follows you. We don't need that.
What we do is we text one another.
Yeah.
And we
Old school.
We also go for lunch together. And
About twice a year.
Yes, but that's more than I go for lunch with, say, who else is on this radio station? Paul Ross. Never been for lunch with him.
Did you remember the last time we went out? It wasn't for lunch, it was for dinner.
Yeah.
And we saw a sawala. A wild sawala.
And we saw an Adams.
Kay Adams.
Is that Kay Adams?
What? If you look over there, shh, hush, be quiet. Put your guns down. Over there, it is a Kay Adams.
And the weird thing was, she was with a Sawala, but you weren't too sure which Sawala it was.
I don't know which one it was.
But it turned out they seemed to be having some kind of loose woman
Have you got the results back from the laboratory?
drinks
Yes,
thing.
yes.
And what was interesting about that, and I was thinking about this
Go on.
just yesterday, we were served by a waiter who looked like two famous people. I thought he looked like someone, and you thought he looked like someone, but I can't remember who we thought he looked like.
This is a
Can you
great
remember?
story.
Can you remember? 'Cause-
Didn't he look like
do you
David Byrne? Was it David Byrne from
Possibly,
the Talking
yes,
Heads?
I think it was.
I think it was.
And then he served us with the worst chili we've ever had, because it didn't look like chili. And it was...
Oh, the burger. The thing is, it was quite a pricey place, right? And
Well,
the burgers.
obviously it would be if Kay Adams and Sawala were there.
The burgers were huge, and we thought, oh, well, the burgers are so big, and they were cheaper than the chili that we ordered.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
chili's going to be massive,
Yeah.
and it turned up. It was one of those things where it came on like a little wooden trough, and there was chili, like tiny amount of chili in one little bowl.
It was a joke.
A tiny little bit of rice in another, and a third thing in it.
And we know that chili is one of the cheapest things to mass produce.
Pennies.
And no, I was really disheartened by that. It didn't spoil what had been a nice time chatting with you.
It spoilt it for me.
Completely. What,
yeah.
percentage-wise?
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, it ruined the entire event.
Well, that's disappointing, because I really enjoyed our Beatles chat, which I was really sort of salivating over the brilliance of Savoy Truffle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even talk about that too much. I don't think it's a great Beatles song, but I think it's one of the standout tracks on the White Album.
Of course, the best track on the White Album is...
Cry, baby, cry.
Make
your mother sad.
You're old enough to know better. So cry, the king was in the park. It's a nasty album, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
it's a mean album.
It's a really.
It's the come down from the high,
it's
the drug
a
high of
strange
Sgt.
and
Pepper's.
weird album, but my God, it's so. I mean, because they say, don't it? It's basically four Beatles doing solo tunes on it. And there's that argument as well. Would it have been better if they'd made it just a single album?
Well, yes,
and
it would
cut
have been
the
better,
tracks in half.
but it wouldn't have been...
But would it have been best if they'd made it maybe 2/3 of the White Album as we know it? That would have been interesting. Maybe a 16-songer.
16-songer, yes. Would that fit onto one compact disc?
I don't know.
Okay. Other mean albums. Rumours by Fleetwood Mac is a mean album. It's all about them shagging each other.
Hey,
Whoa,
come on.
excuse me.
Come on. I think they prefer making love.
My favourite joke in the world was a letter in Viz. It went like this. My mum told me never to listen to rumours. As a result, my copy of Tusk is shagged. Isn't that great?
Do you know what?
Just delightful.
My favourite joke, and it's a bit of a Scottish one, but I genuinely think it's a great joke.
Yeah.
And if you've heard it, just go with me, because
Okay.
I'll ask you. How do you get a problematic trumpet tree out of your back garden?
I don't know. How do you get a problematic trumpet tree out of your back garden?
You root it out.
I've not heard that before.
Yeah.
That's bloody good. Now, here's the deal, guys. Dougie's here for an hour, all right? But if we don't get phone calls, I'm going to execute him.
Wow.
That's going to happen.
Well, this has suddenly taken a dramatic twist.
It has. The doors are locked.
Certainly
There's no
more
escape.
dramatic than, say, Radio 4's Book at Bedtime.
Yes, well. So you've got to phone in. And the thing is, you can talk about literally anything.
Well, I can, yes. It's one of my 3 greatest strengths.
The other 2 we'll find out later on. 0344 499 1000 is the... Because what I've noticed, Dougie, And I can see Alan Caddick is waiting to come on. I'm hoping that if I keep talking, someone else will phone in, and we won't have to go to him. But what I've noticed is when we have guests on this show, and we have a lot of guests. This week we've had a man who wrote a book about Stephen Stills.
Ooh, that's good booking.
Yeah. We had Tony Robinson.
Good booking as well.
And we had Peter Tatchell. No, we didn't. Kath messed it up.
Oh, Kath just replying there by...
saying he's on in 1 week.
Yeah.
He's on in 1 week. He's on in 1 week. That we're going to celebrate the magic of Peter Tatchell. Because he's a legend, I think, you know. But people, the listeners are lazy and they choose not to call. They won't call in. And then afterwards they'll phone up and go, I really enjoyed that interview. I had a question for him.
But see, a lot of the time listeners enjoy doing just that, listening. They don't want to be... it's like that thing now, like on a lot of regional news shows. Hey, get in touch, tell us your news. Just you tell us the news and we'll watch it. There's no crossover here.
I do hate that on Sky and BBC News. They go, well, we're getting your texts in now about Boris Johnson talking about the Saudis. Glenna69 says, I think it's outrageous what he said, while Trotsky34 says, I agree with everything.
And then they go, keep your texts coming, we'll get through as many as we can before the end of the show.
But if I text abuse, I don't read that
But
out.
you go on Sky. I saw you on Sunday. You were on doing the old Sky papers, weren't you, in the morning?
I was on Sky doing
you on
the
with
old...
Anne Diamond? Or who was he on?
I was on with Petri Hoskin this time. I was Anne Diamond previously.
She seems a nice egg.
Petri is delightful. He's one of my favourite people in
Known
the
as
world.
Dish to his friends, of course.
But yeah, I'm on there reviewing the papers. Yeah. And it's funny, I go on there and I turn on my phone and I get abuse for being a lefty liberal, and I get abuse for being a right-wing Tory scumbag. So, I don't know.
Hey, what are you going to do, huh?
What are you going to do? Shoot me? Oh, don't. Well, we're going to go to a break. Yeah. I'm saying that so that Catherine can move over to the break machine.
Right.
When we come back, we're going to speak to Alan Caddick. Is that right, Alan?
Him, sir.
Here we go. And please, dear God, we'll speak to other people. Otherwise, it'll be me and you.
I don't... That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't mind chatting to you. I don't mind chatting to anyone, really. But I like the cut of your jib.
0344 499 1000. Alan, you've got 10 seconds to sell it to people.
Calling now. We've got 499 1000. Just meet me on that. This is Talk Radio with Iain Lee.
And if that doesn't persuade you, nothing will.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I just have to inform a few people to delete their Twitter accounts, if you don't mind, Dougie. Tony Bennett says Rocky Raccoon is the best song on the White Album. Delete your account. Stephen, Mojo Flyer 67, says Cry Baby Cry, BDI cover. Check it out. Quality. Stephen, delete your account. Dougie Anderson is joining me here. You're here. Last time you were here, you were talking about your book.
Yes, Left of the Mainstream.
Which is still available.
Still available.
And is an absolutely cracking read. It would be a great present for a man or a lady.
Yeah.
Stocking filler for the kids.
Yes. Because it's got pictures in it. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's worth. But we're going to talk about the Douglas Anderson show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it in any way connected to the Sir Douglas Quintet? Do you remember those guys?
I do.
I can't remember what song they did. They were an American band that were trying to ride the wave of the British invasion.
Yes.
And what's more British than calling yourself the Sir Douglas Quintet?
And what is more Iain Lee than asking a question then answering it himself?
Thank you very much indeed. The Knickerbockers were another one.
Oh, right, okay.
They had a song called Lies.
Yeah.
So that's two bands I know.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies.
You tell me lies. We'll go to Caddick. Let's do it. Good evening, Alan.
Hip, Iain. Hip, Dougie.
Yes, exactly.
What kind of cake, Alan?
Lemon drizzle.
Beautiful. Alan Caddick is performing a very important task on Sunday, Dougie. It's our second... Shut up. It's our second performance ring. And what that is, me and Kath have got a venue in Islington, the Mucky Pup, and 100 people are coming, and it's a variety night made up entirely... Oh, you'll like this. Made up entirely of listeners.
That's a good idea.
So we've got someone playing a saw. Right. Someone's going to play a computer game on stage. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to eat custard. We've also got, and because he's a listener to the show...
Somebody's going to eat custard?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've also got, he's a listener to the show, Thomas Walsh from Pugwash. Are you aware of Pugwash? Yes. He's got half of the...
Yeah, I've been to see them live.
Yeah. Half of the...
Sticky Wicked. Yeah, Duckworth Lewis method.
Oh,
yeah. You know what? Their second album, the first song in it, Sticky Wicked, is amazing. It's like this amazing glam stomper of a belter.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's going to be performing via Skype.
Think he's listening tonight?
He might be.
Well, just want to say thank you for listening and keep up the good work.
Good night. Alan will be announcing he'll be opening the evening for us via Skype.
Alan, who's on just now? Is that wise? Because he doesn't seem to say words, just noises.
Alan?
No offence, Alan. I mean,
so I was listening, waiting for my turn to speak.
Okay, and that's how conversation works. And it's your turn, Alan.
Yeah,
Hold it. It's your turn, Alan. Now.
I'll be introducing Iain and Kath, and I'm going to be doing Star Trekking.
Still your turn.
Sorry. And also, 2 people have died today, so the curse has struck again.
What curse has struck again? Who have we killed this time?
Greg Lake.
We didn't kill Greg Lake.
And John Glenn.
Who's John? Oh, we didn't kill... hang on, there is a curse associated with this show, Dougie. If Catherine and I speak about elderly celebrities, they tend to die within the next 2 weeks. We killed George Cole. We killed lots of people.
Terry Wogan.
We did kill Wogan, unfortunately. But we've not spoken about Mr. Lake or Mr. Glenn.
Well, Greg Lake had his hit, I Believe in Father Christmas.
Yeah.
I want you to play that at the opener for the show.
No, we played the Divine Comedy.
I didn't know Greg Lake was in Divine Comedy.
Thanks for calling, Alan.
Thank you.
Do you know what's quite poignant this year, actually, when you think about it? I mean, obviously that song will get a lot of airplay, but also, you know, the start of The Snowman, and David Bowie is at the start of it, isn't he? Yeah, you know, the very start of The Snowman.
The cartoon?
Yeah, David Bowie's in a attic. You know, the very, very start.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
David Bowie's at the start of the song. I hate The Snowman. It's one of those things that's so slow.
I don't mind it.
David Bowie's in an attic. I thought,
is
he really?
Yeah, Google it on your computer.
I'll do that next week. And I'll let you know. Hang on a second. Let's hang on.
Okay, so I'll just say, so Iain is on his computer just now. He's Googling using what I like to call a search engine.
David Bowie.
And he's just putting the
Snowman.
You can probably hear him. He's just putting David Bowie and the Snowman in.
Let's have a little.
And,
hang on. He's only at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I said at the start
of the VHS. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. Let's have a listen.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the VHS.
It's a warning come up. I think it's a copyright warning.
Yeah. So we shouldn't be playing this.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I should have said that.
No. Here we go.
Looking forward to talking about the Douglas Anderson show at some point.
Which is also on YouTube, where we're sourcing this from.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm whetting their appetite.
Oh, yeah.
This is... here we go. Let's bloody hell.
You must pre-plan.
I know.
You must pre-plan.
That was my fault. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. It's a you. This is it. Here we go. I'm David Bowie. This is the Snowman.
This attic's full of memories for me. We spent all our summers by the seaside.
Doing cocaine.
In winter.
With Angie.
At home. By the fire. Frost on the window. And snow. Snowballs.
Yeah. Snowballs.
Making snowmen.
Yeah, no, fair play, Dougie. You're right.
You didn't know that existed.
No, I've never seen that.
It's
only on the UK VHS. I don't think it's on all.
Talking about cocaine. That Dick Cavett interview is incredible with Bowie, it's kind of right around about the time of Young Americans.
Oh, he looks awful, doesn't he?
And it's just he's like a skeleton. He's sniffing all the time. But I've never seen such a manifestation of that drug being in someone on TV quite like that before.
Yes, you have. Let's.
Oh, yes, I have worked with you. Yes,
Julie.
Hello.
Julie, you're through to Sir Douglas Anderson. And by the way, I didn't call Tony Robinson Sir Tony Robinson. Ooh. And I think he genuinely, we had a little bit of banter about it. He said, "You've not even called me Sir." And I said, "Well, all you would do..." If someone brought up the Sir, I said, all you would do is say, just call me Tony. He said, yeah, but you didn't even give me the option.
Well, that's the thing. They want the option.
They want an option, don't they?
Yeah. But would you, though? Would you not want to be called Sir? Especially if it was fairly new? newly bestowed upon you.
I want to be called Sir anyway. You can get that put on your credit card without a moment's hesitation. Julie, you're live on Talk Radio. What would you like to say?
Well, I phoned up because I heard the caller call to arms to call in, and then I realised I was calling in without anything specific to say. So I decided that I was just going to have a little look at Dougie, not physically, obviously, but
not physically look, psychically look inside your chakra.
And haven't been on before. Was there a reason why it sticks in my mind that there was something that you said it wasn't suitable for women, or
what?
Have I just made that up?
Dougie is very suitable for women.
I've never been unsuitable to women as far as I know.
The book is suitable for all genders.
Oh yeah, it's cross-sex. I mean, it's like if you imagine, it's
very
like,
angry sex.
It's like the book equivalent of a unisex hair salon.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that I kind of did have a look at your Wikipedia, and I was very, very intrigued by. It says if you've ever wondered why some women still insist on walking around in shoes with a scuffed price sticker.
Oh yes, yes. So this was a chapter from my first book, What to Talk About When There's Nothing to Talk About.
Oh.
And it was basically these conversational pieces that I wrote that could help people who don't have much to talk about, say, at dinner parties and whatnot. But I'd seen this quite a lot. So basically, and it doesn't tend to happen with men, just women, who are walking about still with the stickers on the soles of their shoes.
Yes. Yeah, so annoying.
Now, the weird thing is it Julie or Julia? I do apologise. I think
Julie.
Sorry, Julie.
That's okay.
I hope you don't mind. For the purposes of this call, I'll refer to you as Fiona. But what I don't understand is a lot of the time they're scuffed, so they're not trying to show off. Say if the shoes cost £200, because you can't see what the price was. But surely the first thing you do when you take shoes home before putting them on is take the sticker off.
You would think so. Obviously, that's not that important to women.
But it looks cheap and weird. I don't understand. I mean, Julie, as a woman, what's your take on it?
If I see it's very noticeable if you see somebody with a sticker on the bottom. Usually they are white. And if I see somebody with a sticker on their shoe, I'll say to them, "Oh, did you know you still got the sticker on the shoe?" Because there couldn't be a possible reason why you would intentionally leave it on there.
And what do they say to you?
Up yours!
No, come on, this is interesting, because what's their retort?
They would just say, "Oh, thank you," but you think you must know.
Yeah,
you must know.
Yeah, it's an oddity. It's a real oddity.
Is it a space oddity? I'm David Bowie.
Your impression was very good. It made me laugh very much.
Whose impression?
Your impression of David Bowie in the attic.
I do really good.
Hearing that.
I do really good impressions. I've just worked out that I can do quite a few people. Douglas.
But you couldn't do Jimmy Stewart when I had the two Jimmys last week.
I couldn't do Jimmy Stewart. Struggle with Jimmy Stewart.
You need to do more that noise. That's better.
And I swear to God, Douglas and I have not rehearsed this at all. We haven't, have we?
No.
Give me someone, and I will impersonate them.
Oh, gosh. I mean, Jonathan Ross.
I could probably do that, actually. Hang on a minute. I can probably do it. I've got to get into it. Hang on a minute. Welcome to The Last Resort with me, Jonathan Ross.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. That's not bad. Because everyone goes for the R's and the B's. It's not. It's more in the back of the throat.
I like the fact you brought The Last Resort.
Yes.
Yes. And throw to Knockdown Ginger.
Well, that was Vic Reeves.
See, I'm hoping that Miranda Sawyer is listening just now, because I think she would obviously have watched The Last Resort, remembered Knockdown Ginger, and be enjoying what is, I would like to think, some bloody good bonhomie at the moment.
Julie, thanks for calling. I'm going to cut you off. We'll take a call.
Okay.
Then we'll take a break.
Yes.
And then we're going to sell out of your latest project.
Wow, that's exciting. I look forward to it.
Okay. Lee!
Hello.
Good evening, Lee.
Good evening. Nice to speak to Dougie.
Nice to speak to you, Lee. How are you this eve?
I'm not too bad, just having a fag, listening to the radio.
Have a round of applause for people that are still brave enough to say
What kind of brand are you on, Lee?
it's tobacco. It's amber leaf.
Oh, right, so you're a rolly man, so you need
I'm a rolly man, yeah.
You need to go and get your
Good
filters.
lung cancer, you know?
Yeah, well, I used to smoke. I gave up a few years ago. And I will say this, Julie, it is possible. I used to really enjoy smoking. I was very, very good at it.
Yeah, I love it.
And but you have to want to give up. That's the thing. You know it's bad for you. You have to have that thing inside you. But I thought, I'll never be able to give up. And the thought of having an alcoholic drink without a cigarette was just... I couldn't go.
I quit once for a month.
Well.
And how I quit was I got drunk on a bottle of whiskey.
What?
This is about 10, 15 years ago. I got drunk on a bottle of whiskey without having a single fag.
Why don't the NHS recommend that as a way of quitting smoking? Drink a bottle of whiskey.
You totally spoke over Lee there when he was ending that story, which I was quite into.
So, Dougie, I'm sorry? Listener, I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Lee, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is, Lee, it is possible to, if one day... It is possible to give up, even if you're
But
really
he doesn't
smoking.
want to give up.
I know, but it might do...
Not at the moment, but I have given up before, but I've started again.
Well, that's not giving up. That's just pausing.
Pausing, yes.
Are you allowed to smoke in the house, or do you have to go outside for...
No, I smoke in my flat, yeah.
Right.
Good lad.
Smoke out the window, or just...
Fire alarms off.
Oh, right, okay. Do you live on your own, or with a...
Yeah, I live on my own, yeah.
Okay, so there's nobody... Yeah.
Lee...
Nobody to give lung cancer to.
Okay.
Lee, this is a lot of fun, but what would you like to say to Dougie?
It's just good to speak to a fellow Scotsman, because I used to live in Scotland.
Well, I knew that by your accent the minute you came on.
Yeah. No, but I lived in Fort William.
Oh, yes, right
6
beside
years. I went to
the
primary
Ben
school there,
Nevis.
St Mary's Primary School.
Now who's talking over Lee? You see? It's easily done.
Sorry. No, I was just saying, Lee, it was right... Fort William's right beside Ben Nevis, isn't
It is. Glen Nevis as well, yes. Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's where they filmed a bit of Braveheart.
Yes.
I met Mel Gibson in 1993 when he was filming there.
All right.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, I've got a photograph on my Facebook page of it.
Can you? Well, you say that.
That was before he went racist, wasn't it, for a while? That was when he was still good Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I've got a photograph of me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you say that, but we don't actually have any evidence.
Well, I'll put it as my profile picture on my Facebook page, and you can check it out.
I will not do that, Lee, but thank you for calling.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hi, Lee.
0344 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. He's Dougie Anderson. Hello. This is the radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Will's giving good advice. Will, you can keep your Twitter account active. With persons with titles, you should always start with their title. Then if they request you not to use it, you can stop. But if they don't, you should carry on using it.
That's very good advice from Will, did you say?
That's Will Yendall. His Twitter handle is @SignSinStone. @SignSin.
I wouldn't be surprised if Will was looking forward to Christmas this year.
Tell us about this new little project you've got. And I say little because I mean little as in they are short, but they are thoroughly entertaining. I've just this second tweeted the link to where people can see it. What is it? Why is it? And whom is it?
Okay, so it's the Douglas Anderson Show.
Yep.
And it kind of revolves around me speaking to interesting and a lot of the time famous people from the
big names
from the worlds of music, film, comedy. So in the latest episode 2 just come out, I talked to Idris Elba.
A big name.
Yeah, and Frankie Boyle, another
huge,
big name, and a slightly lesser known but great comedian called Eddie Caddy. So a nice mix. And in the first one we had Miles Jupp, Stephen Mangan, and Mel C, ex of Spice Girls. I'm very excited. That it just had confirmation come in this evening that next interview we're setting up is with Stuart Lee, who is, I think, is it fair to call him the comedian's comedian? With that, because
I never know what that phrase means, and I always thought that meant that they weren't funny. They were kind of clever.
No, he's kind of like.
Because Stuart Lee's very funny.
He's just brilliant, but he's one of these people who, if you talk to other comedians, they see him as this kind of amazing figure. But there's also little bits involved in me walking around talking about basic cultural matters. It looks
beautiful. It looks very, very stylish. You're directing it, are you?
Yeah, and I'm along with I'm co-directing it along with my brother-in-arm Mark. I wanted to do something because I've done all these short films before, and I wanted to do something that kind of that looked kind of nice and interesting, but also I kind of wanted to get rid of all the rubbish that goes with interviews. How you could do something where just the two questions you really want to ask someone. That's what you want in the show. You don't want all, welcome, come on, how are you doing?
You're
Plug
looking
this.
great.
Yeah, I want to get to the meat of the matter and talk to these people about things that they might not have spoken about. Idris Elba being a case in point.
Yeah.
Because he'd done these radio shows for Radio 2 about African music, which were great. And I've got these brilliant African records from the 70s, from Nigeria, Kenya, all these amazing funk stuff that was happening, Sierra Leone, that they found all these singles a few years ago, and they got reprinted and put out on these brilliant record labels, which you're a fan of as well, so you'll hear about. So I talked to him about it and just see his eyes open and go...
Well, there's a bit where he literally steps back out of shock that you suddenly you've gone in with this slightly obscure thing that he's done, the Radio 2 show, and you can back it up with knowledge as well. You can see him genuinely... impressed.
Yeah, and it's that kind of thing, because I just get so bored of the same questions getting asked to the same people, and I want to do something different. And you see them, they actually enjoy it, and it's really exciting. I'm doing it in conjunction with So Television, who are Graham Norton's company. And it's so nice doing something that's not TV, because you don't have a commissioner going, oh, that was great, but can you just put something in about their latest... whatever, just because, we'll please the sponsors, whatever it is. Yeah. And it just feels genuinely exciting to be doing it, and I love it. And it's so nice being able to do something that I'm basically directing it, sort of producing it, and it's nice to have that control. And I actually do mention him in episode 2, but a guy we really like, Limmy, who I think we're going to be interviewing in January, which I'm really excited about. But the way he does his shows, he directs them, he writes it all, and to have that creative control.
Limmy's show, and we've turned a lot of people onto Limmy's show because of him coming on, and me just keep tweeting about him all the time. I think he's where the band is.
Wrong way, down a one-way street.
I keep doing walking around. You know how Dee Dee starts his... I dumped it. And I do that a lot. And I think he's a genius. A word that's thrown around way too much. I genuinely think...
do you know what? It is, but so is that phrase bandied about too much. The word genius is bandied about too much, as is that phrase. Yeah. So let's just band it about, or don't band it about, but don't talk about banding the phrase about.
But I'm going to bandy you about in a minute with your lovely legs. But Limmy is a genius. Yeah. And there are similarities, I think, between what you're doing and what Limmy does, in that they have very distinct visual styles. Yeah. You watch a Limmy sketch or a half-hour show, and it's there is a distinct style that runs all the way through it. And your shows, I mean, I think one is 5 minutes, one is 7.5, something like that. Right, but there is a distinct style that runs all the way through it. And it's TV is everyone who works a high up commissioning program seems to think that everyone who watches TV is an idiot. And
well, the thing is with TV now is because of what happened in 2008, the recession, you look at what's on TV, there isn't much that you think, that's really, well, for me anyway, exciting.
I don't watch TV
innovative
anymore.
Or whatever. And there's so much judging. Everyone's judging all the time. Bake a cake and be judged. Dance for me and be judged. Go into an allotment and be judged. And you see some of the people that are doing the judging. Bloody hell. They do not deserve it to be judged with. But, going back to my interview with Frankie Boyle, what was really great was they basically end up as not interviews, conversations, and that's when you get the really interesting stuff. And we were talking about Limmy. And it's really nice talking to someone of Frankie's stature about Limmy, and he's a fan of his as well. And you just get onto these nice conversational pieces about talking about basically a third party thing, which is always what my intention was, and it just makes it really interesting, exciting.
It's how I do the interviews on here. It's a chat, and kind of very, very rarely will I have notes. Occasionally, if there's someone and I can't quite work out what my in is, but generally we don't talk about the hit. We had John Lydon on a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't mention Punk or the Sex Pistols once, because that's like 2 minutes of his life.
I hope you talked about Pill.
Of course.
Was he on top of because Metal Box got reissued?
That and the tour, so we talked about that. And we also talked about Judge Judy.
What was he like?
He was like a charming old queen. He was on the phone. He sounded really old. But he was hilarious. Because I was terrified. And he was just absolutely charming and wonderful. But I didn't mention Punk or the Sex Pistols. He brought up the Pistols once, I think. And I kind of like avoiding the greatest hit.
Of course, yeah.
But, I'm trying to get... You must be aware of Rodney Bingenheimer.
Yes.
Who's kind of this odd gentleman that's involved with music in the 60s and 70s. He's coming on, hopefully. But his PA...
Have you seen the film?
The Mayor of Sunset Strip? Yeah.
That's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
Can I just anecdotalise for
Please
a quick...
do. Oh, come on. Come on.
I got that in a box set with two other movies. It was The Mayor of Sunset Strip,
the
Ramones documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And The Devil and Daniel Johnson, one of the greatest music documentaries ever made.
Films.
And I was...
All of those are wonderful.
I walked out of HMV with a spring in my step.
All of those are absolutely wonderful.
It was amazing.
His PA has asked me to send over some questions. And I said, we tend not to do that because it would just have a chat. She said, no, Rodney would want to see questions. So I find myself in the opposition of having to write down some questions, because he's an unusual character, and I'm happy to do it because I want to get him on.
If you watch that film, and if you do get the chance, dear listeners, The Mayor of Sunset Strip is a real interesting watch. But he still does his show on K-Rock, doesn't he? From 12 till 3 on a Monday morning, so it's Sunday at midnight. That's a great booking.
That will be good, yeah. So I will bend over backwards.
See, this is why this show is fast turning into appointment radio for not just me, but a few others as well.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll give out all the details of where people can watch the Douglas Anderson Show. That's its proper title.
That's the title. That's the proper title. Yes, the Douglas Anderson Show.
Is there an improper title?
In Italy, it's been billed as Dougal Tony Andertoni's show, but the Douglas Anderson Show, and maybe we could give out the details of how to follow us and subscribe, and maybe after a break. And I don't know. This is your show. I'm not saying what you should do or how you should do it, but I do like how you do it 80% of the time.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, tell me what happened to your Twitter account. You were hacked?
What was
your password? 1234.
How did you know that? You are the hacker. No, I got a message saying, I think you've been hacked, and I went onto my Twitter, and all I can say, there was a picture of a lady, and I found it a bit rude.
Is it still up there?
No, it's gone. It's gone.
She took it down?
Yeah, so it was these really rude pictures of... I don't think it was the same lady, there was a few ladies.
Are you sure it was a hacking?
I almost had one of my turns.
Yeah.
I really got a shock.
I'm sorry to hear
And
that.
so then, reset things, had a wee bit of counselling, and came back stronger than ever.
You really have, and that's why you're a winner.
But I was glad, because I'd kept on my MySpace account, so I was still in the loop as far as technology
I went to MySpace recently, and a big old electronic tumbleweed just blew past me. Kyle.
Evening, you all right, boss?
Yep.
A couple of things. There's one for you and one for Dougie, if that's all right.
Yes, fine by me.
Cool. I was going to say, the curse thing, I haven't had, it's wrong to say a hit rate like you have, but I got nagged last week on my internet radio show by my co-presenter to play a Christmas song. I was like, I'm not playing one, not till the week before Christmas.
Miserable git.
She was like, go on, sorry.
I said you're a miserable git.
Well, no, because not until the week
Another
before
rock
Christmas.
and roll Christmas,
Another Christmas rock and
roll, all dressed up and here we go. Do I hear sleigh bells in the snow? Can't play that one, unfortunately.
Oh.
He's a nonce.
But I did play the, under much passion, I did play the Greg Lake song, and then 6 days later, he snuffed it.
Well,
it's still a black.
I shall be passing your details on to the authorities, and hopefully...
You've killed more people than me, mate.
Shut up.
Do you know who one of the greats that left us this year, but I can't believe Gary Shandling's gone. That was... that was a... Gosh.
Yeah, that was a blow, wasn't it?
There's a really nice, if you ever get a chance, a really nice video of Conan O'Brien talking about Gary Shandling. Sorry to butt in there, Jake. I hope you don't mind. I'm just colouring the conversation.
It's Kyle.
Kyle, sorry. And remember when Conan O'Brien took over the Tonight Show? Was it the one that Jay Leno had done?
Yeah.
And he basically did it for a couple of months and then got chucked off.
Yeah.
And he was in a really bad place and went on holiday, and he was holidaying in the same place as Gary Shandling was. And he tells this lovely story how Gary Shandling took him under his wing, just really supported him, made him feel like he was someone again. It's really beautiful. and it's worth checking out if you do have access to the internet.
This is the theme to Gary Show, the opening theme to Gary Show. Gary called me up and asked if I would write his theme song. I'm almost halfway finished. How do you like it so far? This is the theme to Gary Shandling Show. Bum.
I was going to say to Dougie, I actually bought the box set. I was a big Larry Sanders fan. I bought the big box set that came out this year last.
Of the Larry Sanders Show?
Yeah.
Did you buy the... This is important. Did you buy the English box set or the American box set?
I think I got the American one.
Well, the American one has got about 6 hours of extras on it that aren't on the English one.
Well, this is it, because in one of them, there's tons of extras, but one of them, he does that short video where and it keeps stopping and starting, where he's done an intro for the series, and he wipes off all the awards. I don't know whether you'd have seen this, and he says, I don't know whether you're watching this, for all I know, I might have passed on. And it was just like, oh my God, that. But I saw it after the event, and I was like...
Rip Torn is still with us, isn't he?
Yeah. Rip Torn is indestructible. That guy's going nowhere. I may have just activated the curse.
Jeffrey Tambor, he has gone on to...
He goes from strength to strength.
Transparent is incredible.
I've not seen it. Is it good?
Oh, Iain, it's...
He's so watchable.
I really recommend it.
Oh, okay.
And of course, in Arrested Development, the show, which is one of our greatest loves, isn't it?
There is a David Cross recent live concert on Netflix, which is he's always worth seeing. He does a great line about, I wonder what all these vape shops will be in 6 months' time when they close down, and it's just said with such venom. And I think David Cross is an absolute genius. What was I watching the other day? Popped up in. Oh, it was an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, and the kids were enjoying it on one level. I'm going, it's David Cross there. He's a very potty-mouthed comedian. Carl, did we get to the meat and two veg?
Well, the other thing I had for Dougie, because obviously you're a funny man, Dougie, I was going to tell you my favourite Scottish joke and see what you thought of it.
Is it massively racist?
No.
Oh, that's a shame, but carry on anyway.
Well, it's like a boy goes into a cake shop, he points in the window, and he says, is that a cake? I'm a meringue. And the baker says, no, you're right, it's cake.
That is a good one. And I've got... Can I follow that up with a
meringue.
With a little supplementary story?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That joke was the exact same joke that Ewan McGregor told to the aforementioned Jay Leno when he was still presenting The Tonight Show.
What the heck?
You can find that on YouTube. Just put in Ewan McGregor Scottish.
Carl, you're stealing your material from Ewan McGregor now, are you?
Yeah, sorry, boss.
There we go. So people want to see the Douglas Anderson Show.
Yeah.
People want to see it. It's not even a question. I'm saying it as fact.
I would go as far as to say people need to see it.
Well, they certainly do. But for legal reasons, we can't say they need to see it.
Okay. I got a lovely message from Grace Dent saying that she had subscribed to it and loved it. I mean, that's a good person.
Grace Dent is probably listening right now.
That's a good person to have on board.
Because she, quite often I like to exercise my vocal cords on this show, and I might sing a few songs or toss off a rap.
Yes.
And Grace Dent will quite often send abuse about me, not to me, because she's a cowardly troll, but she'll send messages to Catherine on Twitter, saying, oh, this is but won't at me in there. That to me is a cowardly troll.
A lot of people, I think, find you a little bit scary, a little bit larger in life, a little bit leery. But I know you as this gentle soul, this interesting person.
Yes.
But a lot of people just think you're a bit too in their face.
Gosh,
and,
what can I do about that? Stuff them.
Relax.
Relax, guys. Yeah. If I wanted to see the Douglas Anderson
Okay, so
show,
official YouTube channel, YouTube.com/The Douglas Anderson Show.
YouTube.com.
YouTube.com / The Douglas Anderson Show.
Yes.
And please do subscribe.
Yeah.
Because that's very important.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we're filming, a lot just now up until Christmas, so there's a lot more to come. Do follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
The official Twitter channel is DA Talks, or Da Talks. DA Talks. We've got a Facebook page as well. You can like that. Yeah,
let's find that. I don't really do Facebook, but
okay.
What do I do? Douglas Anderson.
The Douglas Anderson Show, and it'll come up with...
Let's have a little looky. No, let's not come up with pages. Let's go to pages. There we... Oh! Who's that beautiful young man in black and white? What are
see-
you looking at in that picture?
Well, see, I'll tell you something. See that picture there?
Yeah.
Do you ever... You'll probably know this, Ian. I like to talk about Nick Drake. You know those pictures of Nick Drake, the last ever photo shoot you did on Hampstead Heath?
Yeah.
That was where I went there to get them taken because I love those pictures. Yeah. I was listening to 5 Leaves Left just yesterday.
Yeah. I can't do Nick Drake, but do you want to hear my Donovan?
Yeah, go on.
The Lost City of Atlantis. I'll tweet the Facebook page as well.
Thank
People
you.
can have a little look. You've got to. How often are you planning on doing these? Is it just as and when?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got other stuff to be up, so you'll have the episodes. But say, for instance, the longer versions of the Idris interview, Frankie Boyle interview, they'll be going up in the next week or so.
Okay.
So there's a nice stream going on of excellent, interesting, and entertaining content.
We were both saying during the break that neither of us watch television. I can't remember. I mean, I watched The Apprentice tonight just because something to do before.
I mean, BBC 4 has got a lot of stuff on it that I kind of like, more documentary things.
Right.
But like most people, I guess, we like our Amazon Primes or Netflixes and watching things that way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. And I'm just not really into a lot of the shows that seem extremely popular. And I've got nothing against Strictly Come Dancing or X Factor or whatever.
Khan.
But I've not seen Citizen Khan. Is it any good? Okay. Mrs. Brunsby's. Do you like that?
I've never
That's
seen.
a comedy show. I'm very much looking forward to Charlie Brooker's yearly wipe. That is that's going to be good.
Still Game is. I'm told that Still Game is good. And you're a Scottish person, so you must know
I've
about
not seen it. I've not seen the
because Limmy
series.
goes on about it.
Yeah,
a lot,
I've not seen the new series, so I can't tell you. Do you know what one of the greatest ever Scottish comedies was?
No, go on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Video.
Because they had a lot of Scottish accents in it, but what they were doing was just genuinely funny, regardless of geography. And it's not dissimilar to Limmy in that way. Yes, he's got the Scottish accent, but you could do that in the comedy itself, or the subject matter is just standalone funny.
We're going to play comedy teams that slip through the net.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to play iPod roulette.
That's okay, but I prefer this game.
Comedy teams that slip through the net. Kids in the Hall.
Yes, yes.
Go on, your turn.
Oh, right. I have to.
Yeah.
So basically it's comedy shows that. I'll tell you one that I was thinking of today. Very famous person, Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
Very famous, very successful. Saxondale was one of his greatest ever creations.
Yeah, Saxondale was a lot of fun.
2 series went. Series 1 in particular, just his acting in it is superb, and the other characters, that is a real gem. That's because everyone obviously still bangs on about Pardew, but Saxondale was really something special.
But it was a little bit too subtle for people. I think.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes subtlety is too subtle for people.
Which is the joy of doing something on the internet, and you know people can afford. I know you're working with a professional, but you can get a decent Canon camera for £700-800,
definitely.
and it's broadcast quality. You could use it.
Well,
for
an
television.
iPhone is broadcast.
Well, you're
quality.
right. Actually, yeah, you can do it. You can do it on an iPhone.
I'm glad I was right on that one because I was making a bit of a point.
You're through to the next round, which is the next part of this conversation. But the trick is getting people to find it and to see it and to then share it. I guess you're very dependent on word of mouth. And
well, it is, and I mean, one of the things I guess you want to do if you can is end up getting some sponsorship.
Yeah.
Then you get money to promote it. But that can only come by starting to do it in the first place.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is kind of build it and they will come sort of.
You are very much
ideology.
a homebrew kind of person in terms of the book and in terms of this show and the short films that you've
Well,
made.
I've always thought if an opportunity doesn't exist, just create it in some way. But also what I'm into and what I do a lot of the time, there isn't an outlet for it unless I make it happen.
Yeah.
But I think what's great about the Douglas Anderson show is the fact that you can see people like Idris Elba, Frankie Boyle, Stephen Mangan talking about things they're genuinely interested in that they don't really maybe get the chance to a lot of the time. But it's still really interesting for people who only know Idris Elba, say, from The Wire.
Yeah.
Or Frankie Boyle from Mock the Week, whatever it might be. I'm really excited about it. And it's kind of, do you know what's really lovely? So doing something like, this is exactly what I want to do and should be doing and sort of doing it. And it's really, it's lovely. And being able to direct it and all the rest of it.
Mum's okay, is she?
My mother.
I love your mother.
My mum.
She always asks after me.
She's a big fan of yours.
Yes.
She always asks for you. And she was asking for you today. I spoke to her. I'm going up to see her this weekend.
Send her my love.
I will do, and she's very well, thank you.
So, the Douglas Anderson Show. Let me do the Facebook page. Look, so there's the Facebook page. I'm going to tweet that. It's all social media, isn't it?
Well, it has to be. We have to be. I mean, I'm not one to look to the future, but I'm forecasting pretty big things for the internet in 2017.
Oh man, I don't think it's going to take off.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you doing for Christmas? Anything exciting?
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. My two front teeth. I am spending it in Surrey. As you know, I married a lady from Surrey.
Yes.
So I'll be spending it with my in-laws. Lovely people.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to it. I'm working on Christmas Eve. I'm doing Fighting Talk, the show I do quite a bit on Radio 5 on Christmas Eve. Then I'll be going down to Waterloo and getting the train down and going to a carol service at 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
Christian now? Is it Christian now? Is it?
I always like a carol service.
They asked me to do Fighting Talk this week, and I said I don't know anything about sport.
You don't. There's not even one sport that you're into. You just are not into sport at all.
And they said, oh no, they're looking for someone who's not into sport. I thought, I'm going to make me look like a sad. It's not even that. Dougie, it's always a pleasure.
Oh, it's so lovely to see you.
Let's go out for some food after Christmas.
Not chilly.
Yeah. 0344 499 1000. Do call up to listeners, otherwise the next 2 hours are going to be crap.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk Radio.
Thank you, Dougie. Thank you, dear listener. The show continues as per usual. I will sit here and talk balls. You're welcome to call in and discuss said balls or your own balls. 0344 499 1000. This is a phone-in show unlike any other. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Dirty Jagger. Oh, we went to the wrong song. Hang on a minute. Let me find. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to do it on my iPod, and hang on a minute. Turn that off. No, that's not me. I tell you what. How long is that? We'll have this. Dirty Jagger.
Tonight we fly
Isn't that song just gorgeous? If I were in my car now, I'd put that song right back to the start and play it again. One of the best albums in the world, Promenade, by the Divine Comedy. Absolutely stunning. Good evening, dear listener. This is Iain Lee. You're listening to Talk Radio. Douglas has gone. It's just yous and me's. That's it, guys. That's it. 2 hours of a bloke sat in a studio talking to, well, himself, probably. You're welcome to join in at any moment. I'm not going to give you any clues. I'm not going to give you any pointers. I'm not going to give you anything to hang your hats or coats on. You just got to feel the spirit, baby. You've just got to feel the spirit. You can pick up the phone at any time during the next 2 hours and dial the number. We will call you back and you'll come on national radio. Imagine. And there's no intensive screening process. There's no 21-year-old answering the phone, auditioning you. What would you like to say? How would you like to make that point? Okay, well, we may get back to you. There's none of that. We haven't got enough of you to do that at the moment. You phone up. You'll speak to Kath. She'll take your details. She'll call you back. Simple as. There are some bits during the show when it gets a bit busier, so maybe your phone call won't get answered. Call back in 10 minutes. And there are some bits of the show where it's really quiet and you'll get straight through. And that's fine. And it's entirely up to you what you want to say. Imagine that. Imagine that. You can phone up and you can set the agenda for the radio show. You can steer the direction the show goes in. I was listening to another radio station on the way home last night. And a man started talking about a conversation that he'd had with the host the week before. The host shut him down immediately and said, well, that was last week. We're not talking about that now. How do you answer this question that we're talking about in this hour now? Jeez. Because that's how conversations work, isn't it? That's how conversations work. You're not allowed to refer back to something that was said last week. You're not allowed to maybe throw in something completely random into the mix. You're not allowed to do that. Why? I don't know why. What are these loons scared of? Why are people scared of spontaneity? Why are people scared of someone phoning in and saying something completely unprepared and unexpected? There's nothing to be scared of. I've got a button. I've got a big red button that says dump. So if someone says something that is legally, I pressed it. You didn't hear that sentence I just said. So we're completely protected. I've got faders, haven't I, Lindsay? I've got faders. I'm in complete control. So why are so many hosts and so many producers and so many program controllers, they're the bosses, why are so many scared of them, so many of them scared of a little bit of spontaneity? Something a little bit unprepared, unpredictable. Some bits might not work. I know. Some bits might be dull. No, never. Really? But you can bet your arse that the bits that aren't dull are more thrilling more exciting than anything else on the radio. Take those risks, guy. Take those risks. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. It's entirely up to you. I can do this on my own, but I think it sounds better if you join me. So it's up to you. And I can do 3 hours on my own. Of course I can. That's what I get paid for. When there's loads of calls, I'm doing it for free. I earn the bucks when no one calls in, and that's fine. And I have tricks up my sleeve. Kath can come and join me in the studio. I've got stories in the papers. I can talk. I can do it. But I think it sounds better if you call in. Do you want to play? This is an open invitation. I'm knocking on your door and asking your mum, are you coming out to play? 0344 499 1000. Lindsay.
Hello.
Good evening, Lindsay. What have you got for us tonight?
I've had a very mixed experience of eBay this week. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, well, I bought one of the greatest feminist video games of all time.
Yes.
Called Pop and Twinbee.
Pop and Twindy. I don't know Pop and Twindy.
Pop and Twinbee.
Pop and Twindy.
Pop and Twinbee.
Pop and Twindy.
Yes.
Pop and Twindy. Okay.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to that. It's very diverse and colourful and very pretty, and also, from what I've read over the years, very entertaining and stimulating.
Right. When is this game from? I've not heard of Pop and Twindy.
It was on the Super Nintendo.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Yeah. Okay.
And you can play as a woman and a non-woman.
Okay. And how much did this game cost?
Well, considering I bought it in mint condition, quite a bit.
Well, how much? 40 quid?
Double.
70 quid?
That's... Yeah, no, it's more than that.
Would you agree with me, Lindsay, that one of the finest games of all time, and it's a masterpiece, and it goes for it? Well, it's. I remember I've got a copy of it somewhere, and it goes for a fortune. Vip Ribbon.
Pardon?
Vip Ribbon.
What is that?
You've never played Vip Ribbon? Oh, Lindsay. It's a PlayStation game. Let me go on eBay, because I bet it goes for... I remember a friend bought me a copy of it about 10 years ago, and it was 40 quid then. Vip Ribbon. It's absolutely... Vip Ribbon... Is it called Vip Ribbon? Why has it got no... PlayStation. Hang on. Bear with me. 50 quid. 50 quid, buy it now. Vip Ribbon it's Vib Ribbon. Sorry, Vib Ribbon. I apologise. I was getting my mistake there. Vib Ribbon, it's brilliant. You play, it's a rabbit, and he dances to music.
Oh, like Harmonite.
Yeah, like that. But I think this was the first one, and it's all vector graphics, so it's just black and white. And it is absolutely stunning and Moorish and addictive. And you have to dance in rhythm to the music, and you can put your own CDs in. And the further along you get, the more elaborate the pattern that he's dancing on gets. It's absolutely stunning. And do you know what? I'm going to dig out my copy, and I'm going to show that to the boys this weekend. Have I got a PlayStation 1? Somewhere. We'll play Vib Ribbon. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, well, my game should arrive in the post by tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that was the good eBay. You said you had a mixed bag with eBay. What happened?
I ordered a bunch of replacement DVD cases for my Wii games last week.
Yes.
And they haven't turned up. They're at least 3 days overdue.
Uh-oh.
And I checked on the seller's profile.
Oh,
they have 90% good feedback,
Yes.
But the negative feedback, they all seem to say the same thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
That they take the money, but you don't get anything in return, and they don't contact you.
But you'll get the money back, won't you?
No, you have to threaten them for them to even consider giving it back. And I just want to warn people. There are even those with excellent feedback. They can rip you off. I wasn't ripped off too badly, but I've had to try and get another bunch of cases from someone else now because these people on eBay ripped me off and didn't deliver what they promised.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Lindsay. That must be very upsetting. Have you got a safe space you can go and talk about this?
Yes, I have. This is a safe space. That's why I called you.
That's what you think, love.
Rape threat.
It wasn't a rape threat, but I could see how it could...
Do you think rape's funny?
Thanks for calling, Lindsay. I don't know what's going on there. It's got to be new meds. It's got to be new meds. 0344 499 1000. Al, Lucy, Damo, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, man alive. Let's go to Lucy. Good evening, Lucy.
Hello?
Hello, Lucy.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
I'm making a cup of tea.
Hey, beautiful. What?
I wanted to talk to you because I've just listened to a podcast.
Yes.
And my mate Alec, well, apparently he's my mate, according to the mummy's PA,
Yes.
phoned you.
Is there any chance, Lucy, you could, I don't know, pick the phone up with your hands?
Possibly.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Right, can you hear me better now?
Yes, of course I can. Speakerphone is rubbish.
Sorry.
That's all right, go on.
Yeah, so, anyway, I heard you and you said I can have a ticket. So can I have a ticket?
Hang on, sorry, what?
You said I can have a ticket. You said to Alex, he can't come, but I can.
Oh, yeah, no. What?
That wasn't the answer I was expecting.
No, it's not. The thing is, if I gave you a golden ticket, you're talking about the New Year's Eve golden ticket, right?
Shut up, I'm on the phone.
You see, if I gave you the New Year's Eve golden ticket, how do I know that you wouldn't turn up with him?
I definitely won't. He called me his PA.
Yeah, that was rude. Is he your boyfriend? Your lover?
No.
Is he your
no.
sex partner?
No.
Would you like to be?
Not what, after being called a PA?
Yeah?
No, definitely not.
Role play?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Have you listened to the show before, Lucy?
I have.
What was your favourite bit?
The thing that I listened to was food to eat.
What?
Food to eat.
Food to eat.
There was a guy, and there were people randomly giving him lists of food.
Yes, and what would he say?
He was saying food to eat or food not to eat. I thought it was amazing.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Is that the only bit you've heard?
No, I've heard a few things.
Go on, give us another bit.
Another bit? No, you can't make me do that.
It's almost like you've only ever heard that bit.
Lindsay person came on the other night and had a freak out again.
Yeah.
And what is the story of Lindsay, actually?
No one's quite sure.
Because, does she speak every night?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you'd know if you listened.
Well, I'm new to it. I'm not lying.
Huh?
I'm new, but I'm an every-nighter.
We're not giving away a ticket tonight. We're giving away a ticket tomorrow night.
So I've got to listen and call tomorrow.
You've got to listen and call tomorrow. Whereabouts do you live, Lucy?
Deptford.
Give us a call tomorrow. What was the game we played about food again? I can't remember.
Have I got it completely wrong?
Yes.
Food to eat. I did have I was drunk, but, it was
Food to
funny.
Yeah. All right, Lucy, nice to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. Food to eat, food not to eat. That's like a little version of the product. Damo.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Damo.
Hello. Long time, first time, very long time, actually.
Very long time, first time. I like that.
Very long time, first time. Why did I call? Oh, yeah. So I'm a podcast listener. I don't ever listen live.
Oh, nice one. Good. Thank you, Damo.
And I was wondering if I could just give my future self a warning.
Oh, yeah, please do. We like these. If anyone wants to either send out a coded message or speak to themselves in the future via now and the podcast, 03444991000. Damo, away you go, mate. Thanks for calling, Damo.
Hello.
We did a thing years ago on Absolute where people could phone up and give out coded messages, and I'm sure that there was an increase in murders as a direct result because people were phoning up and anyway. Al!
Evening, boss.
Evening, Al. What you got for us?
Well, I was just listening to what you were saying earlier about the forgotten comedy gems. You know, all the ones that slip through the net.
Yes.
You said Kids in the Hall, which I totally agree with.
Yeah, Kids in the Hall, absolutely wonderful Canadian comedy sketch troupe from the late 90s.
Yeah, they were. They were great. I've been watching them on YouTube again recently, actually, and it's still, you know, it still holds up a lot of it.
Yeah.
But their film Brain Candy was a big disappointment, I think.
I went to see Brain Candy at the time. Me, my friend Justin, and my sister, and there was one other person in the cinema. And I remember enjoying it at the time a lot, laughing a lot. And then I got it when it came out on video, and I thought, oh, actually, it's some good bits, but it's not that funny.
The bit that really killed it, that was really controversial, I understand, was the thing they had that character called Cancer Boy, you know? Who turned
Cancer
up in
Boy.
a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And you just were thinking, this is just...
Yeah, I can see what they're doing, but it ain't working.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that was just what I couldn't kind of, get on with bits like that in it. But anyway, the one I was going to say, one I was going to put forward that you kind of did an entree to when you were talking with Dougie it came from The Last Resort.
Yes.
And it was Roland Rivron.
Yeah.
It was a spin-off from The Last Resort. Do you know what it might be? The Roland Rivron sitcom, really, I suppose you'd call it, mockumentary series.
Oh, no, go on, what was that?
And it was called Set of Six.
That rings a bell, yeah. That rings a bell.
It was very, very different at the time because it was very laid-back, kind of naturalistic sort of style of comedy, and it was done on film. They did it on film, and six, as the title might suggest, there were 6 episodes, and it was just very, very funny. But not many people watched it. I think Gerald Scarfe, the cartoonist, directed quite a few of the episodes as well.
I once avoided Roland Rivron on a bus. He used to live near me, or I used to live near him, and we'd spoken. We'd spoken somewhere. I don't know if I'd interviewed him or we'd been on a show together or something. And then one day I saw him on the bus, the 142, and I just didn't want to talk to him. So I kind of I pretended I hadn't seen him and went upstairs.
He's had a very mixed career, Roland Rivron, because he was in French and Saunders quite a lot.
Raw Sex, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Raw Sex, and he did a lot of stuff with.
I used to like
Jules
Raw
Holland.
Sex.
Yeah, no, that was quite good. But this Set of Six, I want to thank you actually, because I hadn't only had a VHS of half of the series from years back, but I've just found it on iTunes tonight. So, from what you were saying about Last Resort and
I tell you what's another good programme, right? And I only I missed it when it came out because I, like everyone else, was watching The Office, right?
Oh, right,
and I only discovered it last year or the year before. I can't think what it's called. It's the one set in a pub with what's the one set in a pub? And it's the bloke who wrote The Royal Family with.
Oh yeah, it's called. Not Last Orders, it's called, I know what you mean, Craig Cash, isn't
Craig Cash, it's Craig Cash.
It's called...
Early Doors, Catherine's reminded me.
That's right,
There's only 2 series of it, like 12 episodes.
Right. Yeah, I do remember it,
It is absolutely stunning. It is so good. Honestly, it is so funny. Just beautifully done. Really subtle. And some not so subtle bits, actually. And it's just a joy to watch.
I should go back to that. But the other thing you were saying about Limmy is, the other thing I don't understand about Limmy is why he hasn't become bigger in all of the UK rather than just kind of a bit of a cult.
Well, I don't... Was his show ever shown outside of BBC Scotland? I know it's on Netflix now, but they've edited bits of it. But it wasn't shown on...
No, it wasn't. And
BBC.
The only thing I ever saw him in, sort of south of the border, if you like, is he was in the IT Crowd and he did a tiny cameo, and that was it.
Oh, did he?
He was in the IT Crowd very briefly as a window cleaner or something.
Oh, Oh, okay. He is.
And that's it.
I know that he'd written. Indulge us for a second, dear listener. A Falconhoof sitcom.
Oh yeah, has he? Good. Great.
Yeah, but the BBC rejected it.
Oh right. Yeah, this is it. I just the other thing I don't understand is why more southern. Listen to me, but more comedians south of English comedians didn't sort of stick him in their stuff and try and it's a bit like a musician that you could stick on your record and people would get to know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's a shame. Anyway,
Al, listen, thank you for that. I appreciate that. 0344 499 1000 is the phone. Early Doors is just it's just wonderful. I mean, it's so clever and proper laugh out loud. Funny. We can talk about that. Comedies that slipped through the net if you want. 0344 499 1000. Carl, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Evening, Carl.
Hello.
Hello, Carl. You're live on Talk Radio. What would you like to say?
I've just got a quick question. You were talking earlier, right, about what's that programme on BBC Radio 5 Live that you were asked to go on?
Oh, Fighting Talk.
Fighting Talk, yeah. And I was talking to my
girlfriend.
What do you put? No, okay. This is another question. Actually, I've got two questions. What do you call someone you've lived with for like 20 years? You haven't got married to her.
Yeah.
Do you call her your girlfriend? That sounds a bit immature, I think.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I don't like the word partner.
No, because it sounds like I could be gay, couldn't I? If I came on and said my partner, you might think I'm gay. Nothing wrong with being gay, obviously.
No, I don't think. See, partner doesn't, for me, imply homosexuality anymore.
No, okay.
But I mean, what? How old are you? 43.
41. Yeah,
whoa, it's the 2-year window, guys. I'm good at this.
Pretty close.
It does feel a bit old to be saying girlfriend and boyfriend. Lover. Call her your lover.
Yeah, but that's a bit.
Do you make love?
Lover.
Do you make love?
Yeah, of course.
She's your lover. Yeah. She's your sex partner.
Okay. Anyway, I was talking to my lover.
Here we go.
In the kitchen before she went to bed, and yes. we were guessing how much you would get paid to go on a show like Fighting Talk.
200 quid.
Was it? She was closer than me then. I said 5 or 500. She said 250. So
no. For a radio show like that, it's well, say it's not a lot. I mean, I assume it's only a couple of hours' work, so 100 quid an hour. That's not bad going.
I like that. Yeah,
it's 200 quid. But the thing is, I'd not listened to it. I've never listened to it before. I was asked to go on. I've never listened to it before. I'm suspicious when they said, "Oh no, they're looking for people who don't know anything about sports." I thought, yeah. And also, I don't do very well on panel shows. Any time I've ever been on a panel show, I can't function in them very well.
Right. Well, there's loads of people on there that don't know anything about sport anyway. So
really?
I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah.
Well, like completely. Don't know.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people go on there that just really don't. They just read the newspaper and then,
I might
talk about what's happened in the week. I would. 200 quid, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Well, you've probably got loads more money than me.
Well, I possibly have got loads more money than you, but I'm not. Listen, I've not got so much money that I turned down 200 quid because it's not enough. Au contraire. But I'm fortunate enough that I can turn down stuff if it don't quite feel right to me. Carl.
Okay.
But Dougie's on Fighting. Dougie's on Fighting Talk quite a lot.
Who?
Thanks for calling, Carl. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now I should. Well, not normally. Now I'd go through the papers, and I will a little bit, but the papers the last couple of days. In fact, Sunday, when I did Sky News on Sunday. I go in once a month, and I do 3 reviews of the papers. So me and a female presenter. Quite often it's Anne Diamond. Last week it was Petri Hoskin, who I think is brilliant and is one of the most delightful women you could ever meet. And and Stephen Dixon wants to come on as a guest. We'll get Stephen. We'll get Stephen on as a guest because he's hilarious. He's filthy. He's the guy that hosts it at the weekend. Filthy, but he's hilarious. I must text him. and so you have to go through the papers on this thing, and you do 3 hits, and you have to come up with 4 stories each, and you come up with different stories. It's 12 stories each, right, for the whole morning. There was nothing in the papers whatsoever. I mean, there was stuff. It wasn't blank pages, but it was really slim pickings, guys. And it was one of the worst mornings I've had on Sky. It wasn't. We had nothing meaty to sink our teeth into. The jokes weren't working. It was none of it. It was awful, absolutely awful. And since then, where are we now? Thursday. The papers have been absolutely shocking. There's nothing in the papers worth talking about. I've got 6 stories that I've jotted down that I can kind of riff on for a couple of minutes. But there's not a lot in them. These are the lines I've written. Giraffes, optimism, retire, potato water, expensive presents, and Jose Tat. That's it. That is what I've written down, and I'm hoping will sustain the next hour and a half of radio. Flipping heck. Imagine. Poor, isn't it? You can, save me from dying on my arse by calling 0344 499 1000. George has called in. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Ian. It's very nice to hear you again. Hope you've had a lovely day.
Well, gosh, have I had a lovely day? I saw my eldest's Christmas show today, and he was a camel.
Oh, nice. The classic.
Yeah, he was a camel, and he was very, very funny, and he got a laugh. And then at the end, he was one of the bell ringers, and it was brilliant, and I watched it, and I filmed a couple of little bits. The guy next, I was sat in the front, and I was just filming. I don't film the whole thing now, because I think the whole show is filmed professionally.
Sure.
So I just filmed when he had a couple of lines. I filmed those bits, and I took a couple of pictures, and then I watched it and enjoyed it. But the guy next to me, he had like, it was almost like a professional TV rig, and he was taking up the big space. He had a tripod, and he had a big camera with a zoom lens on it, and he was filming it, and I kept looking at the shots he was getting, thinking, well, that looks pony. And there was one point when it was really quiet, and he was trying to extend the legs on his tripod.
Oh, Lord.
And then he could tell it was being noisy. And so the next time that there was a big noise as everyone got up to sing a song, suddenly he whipped the legs out and did all that. And he was kind of encroaching onto my personal space. But I just thought, oh man alive, come on, dude. Get over yourself.
No, it's the sort of thing that he's spending so much time sorting that out, he's missing what he's there to see.
And I've done that in the past. The first few things, I was so uptight about getting in a good position so I could get a good shot and stuff. And now it's like, I've got my phone ready. If I see his group standing up, he's going to speak, I'll just whip it up, but I'm still watching him. I'm not looking through the phone. And then I put it down, and it's just so I can send it to his grandma and show it to my mum when I go and visit her at the weekend. And,
lovely.
We take so many pictures. Now, I'm just going to my phone because I want to see how many pictures I've got on my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And bearing in mind, about 6 months ago, I took all of my pictures off and put them on hard drive because my phone was being really slow. Right.
Sure.
I've got 1,575 pictures on my phone, right?
Crikey, yeah.
But which for some people isn't, some people have got a lot more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking through them. I've got a picture of Ian Dale. I've got a book about Harpo, picture of Harpo Marx, picture of my mate Scott as a kid, picture of my friend Mackenzie wearing a gollywog badge, a picture of Justin Lee Collins, and loads of pictures of my kids. We take too many pictures, George. We take too many pictures, and we never know what to do with them, and we're never going to look at those, and they'll all get lost. And I've got this great app, right? This great app, and I keep telling Kath to do it, and you've not done it yet, the free print. Have you done it? Honestly, this app is brilliant, and I'm not affiliated with it, but it's brilliant, right? Free Prints, it's called. Mm-hmm. And what it does, every month, I get a reminder saying, oh, you've got 45 free pictures.
Oh.
And what I do is I go on my phone and I tick 45 pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and I get them turned into actual photographs.
Oh, photos.
Photographs.
That's good.
For free.
Yeah.
For free. It
Wow.
costs £3.99 postage. That's it.
Oh, I do a lot of posting. That seems fairly reasonable.
I think it's an absolute bargain. And they're good quality pictures.
How do they make any money?
This is the thing. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, and I don't care. I just think it's such a brilliant, brilliant service. And I forget. And I get a reminder every month. Don't forget, your month's nearly up, and you've still not got your pictures.
Yeah, in the small print, do you reckon they now own the rights to that picture? They'll be putting it on adverts and things around the world.
They probably do. I'll go to Dubai or somewhere, and there'll be a big poster.
And your family will be the sort of, tucking into some fish finger sandwiches or something.
That's exactly.
Bird's eye over there.
That's exactly what will be going on. I just think it's such a good, because we don't look at pictures anymore, and I want to get a picture album, and I want to. And I want to try and make a point of taking less pictures on my phone and enjoying the moment.
Exactly. I read a very interesting article that was all about why you look at old-fashioned photographs, the old black and white ones.
Yeah.
People didn't smile, and straight away the sort of usual answer you see for that is that it would take quite a long time for the exposure to develop. So you'd have a straight face.
Yeah.
But I think also it used to be a terribly sort of exciting and novel thing to happen, and so people would they might only have one photograph in their whole lifetime, and so it would be quite not a solemn occasion, but, it was a one-off thing. They didn't want to pull a silly face and ruin it, perhaps.
Was it expensive?
So they would really concentrate on that moment. It would be the one photo they'd have. Most people couldn't afford to have a portrait painted or a little miniature, and it was a serious, important thing.
I'm thinking of changing my whole life, George, right? And that includes getting rid of a lot of junk. And by junk, I mean kind of the things that I own. But I can't quite bring myself to do it. In fact, I'm quite a long way off bringing myself to do it. But it's an idea I'm kicking around.
You'd only buy it back on eBay and spend too much money.
Possibly.
You'd regret
Possibly. It. But that reminds me, on the New Year's Eve show, I'm bringing in my record player. We're going to plug in my record player, and all the incidental music will be coming from records, which will be good.
Oh, nice. I got a dance set for my girlfriend's wife now. Last birthday, yeah.
Beautiful. The dance sets are beautiful, big weighty things. I'll bring in my little tinny plastic one because I can plug it into the headphone socket. Anyway. I did kind of, because I was thinking about this photos thing. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. And I did kind of think that I would like to swear off taking photos on my phone and only take photos with a camera. But then I thought, well, maybe I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face, and I might miss something magical. But saying that, I must have easily 20,000 pictures of my kids somewhere. On some of them are lost because I took them on a phone and I didn't back it up, and that phone got stolen. Or some of them are on memory cards that I don't know where they are or what they are. So it's just nice to take pictures and have them developed. I don't know. There's some. I'm clutching at something, George. There's some breakthrough I'm approaching, but I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, I was the youngest of two kids, and my parents were sort of bored of having kids' photos by then, and so there's about 3 photos of me as a baby. And that's about it. There's hundreds of my brother, first one, and a few less of my sister, and then about 2 of me. So I presume I was a child, but there's no proof out there.
There's no video of me till the age of about 16, and actually I don't know where that tape is. That's not quite true. There's a little bit of cine film of me. There's a little bit of cine films. My great-grandmother was into making cine films, and in fact...
classic.
Yeah, about a year ago, my uncle converted a load of it to DVD, and I've just not been able to bring myself to watch it because I find it too emotional. Because my dad will be on there, and I know that there's footage of my nan and granddad visiting us when we lived in Slough when I would have been about 6, and I just can't bring myself to watch it.
One day you'll you'll be brave and it'll be lovely.
Yeah, it
but
will be.
at the minute, you're like Jesus, aren't you? Everyone knows, you were born
Yep.
at 6 years old, and then bang, you're 30 and you're on TV.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's the way it goes, man.
And the middle bit is a lovely foggy mystery.
Foggy mystery, yeah. How much of your childhood can you remember?
Oh, I think about this a lot. Very little. I remember being very frightened and scared of going to, must have been nursery school, and hiding behind my mum and getting sort of up inside her jumper and hiding behind her before going off. I remember, actually, one of my best memories is having all my Jurassic Park toys out on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm 30 now, so I must have been, 92,
My
93.
boys are just getting into Jurassic Park. They've been playing Jurassic World, but we watched a bit of Jurassic Park. They're getting
it's so good.
Yeah, it's a good film. I'd never seen it before.
So frightening. We saw it in 3D,
Wow.
and it turned it into an absolute horror film. It's so frightening. But no, I had all my toys out and went to bed, and then Dad got home from work, and he set it all up like a big fight with all the men, and the T-Rex was eating Alan Grant and stuff, and I woke up in the morning, and they were all outside my door having this big battle. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
And to know that my dad must have spent, 10, 15 minutes there before going to bed.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
My first memories, I remember being 3, and I remember we had a coffee table, and I remember crouching at one end of this coffee table and leaning around it and looking at my mum, and I remember thinking, I am 3. I really remember that. And that's my first memory. But I don't remember... my memory is terrible, but I don't remember a lot of my childhood. Not because I think anything particularly traumatic happened. I don't remember much of it.
No, I think, it's fine, really, isn't it? Every now and again you get a snatch of it, but if someone says, if someone suddenly says to you, think of the first day at school, you'll never remember it, but then one day you'll be walking down the street and you'll see a sight or smell a smell, and you'll think, oh, my days, remember that dinner lady who looked after me when I was crying because I was sad and didn't have any friends, and I pretended my granddad had died.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. See, I hadn't thought of that for ages. Now it's popped into my head.
You pretended your granddad had died?
Yeah, because I was by myself in lunch. Didn't really have many friends, and I was just a bit sad. Didn't want to be at school, so I was crying. And she came and asked me, "Oh, what's the matter?" I said, "Oh, I didn't want to say I'm a bit lonely." So yeah, my granddad's died. And then I tried it again. It felt like to me years later. She'd never remember, but it was probably only a few months later. And she said, "Oh, the other one."
Oh.
Yeah, she knew I was a lonely fibber.
Oh, The Lonely Fibber. That's a great title for a book. The Lonely Fibber.
Lonely Fibber. Well, if you lie, you're going to end up lonely soon enough, aren't you?
Well, you tell me about it, Josh. Thanks for calling. I've got to move on.
I didn't even get to my point.
Well, in that case, stay there. Let me play the ads. We'll do it after this.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
George, what was the point that we never got round to making?
Oh, well, I was thinking about good old games on the PlayStation, and I think the best game I've ever played in my 30 years is one called Bishy Bashy. Have you ever played it? Have you ever heard of it?
Now, I know Bishy, isn't that lots of mini-games?
Yeah,
and they're all kind of silly little quick button bashing games.
Oh, my days.
Yeah.
If you've got kids, I purposely, for my stag do, the day before my wedding, I went out the week before on eBay, got myself PlayStation, got myself Bishy Bashy, and we just sat in the house and played that, and it was beautiful.
Bishy Bashy, yeah, I do vaguely remember it. It was the Japanesey type games are nuts.
It is insane. There's one called Uncle Bean where you fire sort of jelly beans at a man's face. There's one.
What was the one where you had to take photographs? Do you remember that you were walking down the street and you had to take pictures of things?
There's one. I think there's one where you have to turn around at the right time to take a photograph of something.
Maybe.
They're very basic, and so it's literally, there's 3 buttons you have to press at most in any of these games. Yeah, it's like a little micro machines and you bang stuff off roofs.
Oh, micro machines! Now there's a game.
That was one. That was a good one.
That was nuts. The micro machines tournaments me and my mates used to have, unbelievable. Of course, we celebrated the magic of Parappa the Rapper last week. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to follow me, I'm sure you'll find the things a teacher sure to reach you. You made the net and get a lesson from teacher. Now kick, punch. It's all of that. I love all of that nonsense.
Exciting stuff, yeah. And the other thing I've been enjoying mainly this week, so it's been a bit quiet at work.
Yes.
Get on YouTube and search for marble races.
Oh.
And there's this guy, he's a little kid, I think he's Canadian, and he sets up these most amazing, he just buys, sets of, marble runs, and he sets them all up, and he picks maybe 8 colours of marbles, and he gives them all names. Beautiful swirl, lava, one's called horse. Horse is my favourite, it's a brown one, and he puts them in this thing, and he's got like a little starting mechanism at the top, and they go into a big bowl with a hole in the middle, and so they roll around the hole. Eventually one of them's going to get to the bottom first and drop out, and then they'll zig through and go different routes and stuff, and the whole idea is you have a little guess which colour's going to win, and he does like knockout tournaments and things. It's an amazing way to spend about half hour.
Here's one for you. There's a Japanese kids program, and my friends did the music for it. You should watch this on YouTube. Pythagoras Switch.
I'm writing this down.
And it's basically it's where where's my computer's all gone to cock. Hang on a second. It's where this little bit of music comes from. Hang on a second. Why are you not doing what? It's where this comes from. Oh, hang on. I got to plug it in.
Oh, yeah.
Plug it in. Hang on, here it comes. Oh! Oh, is my computer on? There we go. There we go.
Yeah, lovely.
Pythagoras Switch, which is Japanese for Pythagoras' switch, right? And it's basically loads of little videos of little machines. So it's a marble just rolling around this machine. They all last 30 seconds. Actually, some are a bit longer. And at the end, it hits a little thing, and a flag pops up, and the flag
pops up. Yeah.
And it says Pythagoras Switch. It is absolutely, it's so hypnotic. I've got a DVD I've got a really beautiful DVD and book set of it, and it's just wonderful.
Oh, I love it. There's nothing better than stuff working, is there?
He's right. There's nothing better than stuff working. George, thank you for that. Enjoy that. Jules.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Jules.
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm just ringing up again. Last time we spoke, I called you the wrong name. I called you Lee instead of Ian.
Okay, yes.
But I'm just ringing up is like, the reason why I can ring you up is after a few beers, obviously. And I suffer from anxiety and was depression.
Yeah.
But just like to say, maybe you should not say too much after when somebody's had a bad phone call, and you sort of go to them, because I was on the podcast this week,
right?
And you went basically after I spoke to you,
yes,
and called you Ian,
yes,
and you went, oh, that's an example of how not to be on the radio.
Yes.
And people.
Yes, it was a car crash of a phone call, if I remember it correctly.
I agree, but it is, but
Right.
you don't need to tell everybody about it.
Well, would you want me to not comment when someone does a terrible phone call?
Well, it's about me, yeah. I mean, because it didn't really make me feel very good, to be fair.
Well, you should have done a better phone call.
Okay.
So I can do it about other people, but not about you?
No, I just think generally, because I think you could probably...
Well, I mean, there's a limit to how nice I can be. If someone does a terrible phone call, partly because they're drunk, then I'm going to say that was a terrible phone call.
Okay.
What do you suggest I do?
Well, don't really just say it was a bad phone call, and... Well, not even say anything, just move on.
I've got to say something, mate, because it's my show, and if someone does a terrible phone call...
But don't say an example, like you went, oh, if I was doing a show, this is an example, I would put it as a real bad phone call.
It was a terrible phone call. May I make a suggestion to you?
Yeah, don't ring up.
No. Ring up, but don't ring up drunk.
Yeah, but I run up drunk beforehand. It's been fine.
Right, well, it wasn't fine the other day. It was awful. I don't understand what you want me to do, Jules. If it's a terrible phone call, I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. I'm going to say that was a terrible phone call. You embarrassed yourself.
It just makes it worse when you turn around and say, "Oh, if I was doing a show, I'll put this as an example as being a really bad."
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to say this while you're on the line. If I were given a lecture, I would play that phone call. And then I would play this phone call to show how not to save face.
Yeah, right, fair point.
Because you're just making it worse. I mean, I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't. It made me feel bad.
Well, I'm sorry if you felt bad, but it was a terrible phone call. Don't phone up when you're drunk.
Yeah, fair point.
Genuinely, I'm sorry if you felt bad, but... You have to own part of. You have to take responsibility for a certain part of it, because that phone call was awful. I didn't even know what it was about.
It was but afterwards you turned around and said you did know Mike Allen.
Yeah, I did know Mike Allen, but you didn't ask me that. You asked if I'd ever worked with him, and I said no.
No, I said, did you know Mike Allen? Have you heard of Mike Allen?
Yeah, you said, have you worked with Mike Allen? Have you worked for Mike Allen?
No, I said, have you heard of Mike Allen?
Well. I must have misheard you then, because that's not what I heard. What I heard was, have you worked for Mike Allen?
No, I knew you hadn't worked for him. No, I said, have you heard from Mike? Have you
Where did you expect me to take that conversation? You're making it worse, by the way, Jules. Where did you expect me to take that conversation? A drunk man phones up and tells me they're looking at a picture of Mike Allen. What am I supposed to do with that?
No, the first thing I said was, have you heard of Mike Allen before?
I didn't. I heard you say, have you worked for Mike Allen? Apologies if I misheard you.
Because I knew you hadn't worked with Mike, because he was well older than you are.
Right.
He was like in his 70s when he died, so I wouldn't have even asked that.
Well, you don't know what you asked, because you were drunk.
A little bit. But no, I asked you this at the start was, have you ever heard of Mike Allen?
Why are we deconstructing what was a terrible, terrible phone call?
I don't know.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So if I were to give this talk in a college about a bad phone-in radio, what I would do is I would play the first phone call, right? I would play the first phone call, and I'd say, you think that's bad enough? Well, it's not. 2 days later, he called back with another one. And I'm sorry if that makes you feel bad, but you kind of have to take ownership. You should hear how you get treated on other phone-in shows. Jeez!
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
I'm confused now as to what's mean and what is not. I've got no idea. Another hour to go, dear listener. Can it get any worse? Yeah, probably. If we try hard enough. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hello. Ooh. I say, how about a little kiss? Oh, don't be unkind.
Something in the woodshed, and I can hear it breathing. It's such an eerie feeling, darling. He said, there's nothing in the woodshed. It's your imagination and of the conversation, darling. Pretend to the woodshed. They came down hard on his head, gagged and bound and left for dead. When he woke, she was gone with his car and all his money.
That is a flippin' song. I mean, that's just such a good song, isn't it? Isn't it? Love it. I love it. I love it. It's so dramatic. Oh, isn't it? Final word on the matter. Thank you to Hedy, who says, Iain, 7 minutes past 11 and 53 seconds, Jules said, Mike Allen, did you ever work for him? I knew he did. So I don't feel bad. I felt bad during the news, so maybe I'd... But if someone is arguing and they don't remember what it was that was said, then I don't feel bad. Boy, oh boy. You should have heard me 10 years ago. I would have destroyed him. You know, and there are other radio hosts that would destroy him. And if you know, we only learn by having our mistakes pointed out to us. 0344 499 1000. Iain Lee, late nights, talk radio. Tomorrow, what we got tomorrow? We'll do Call Straight to Air tomorrow. And I'm kind of tempted for the first 2 hours of the show. We'll do Call Straight to Air after midnight tomorrow. I'm kind of tempted for the first 2 hours of tomorrow's show to do new callers. New and newish callers. I think we'll do that between 10 and 12. New and newish callers. And then Call Straight to Air after midnight. And anyone can call in after midnight. How's about them apples, guys? And we'll give away another golden ticket tomorrow. In the meantime, though, guys, 0344 499 1000. I went into a car wash today. I've been to a car wash for ages. They're not as exciting as we're led to believe. It's meant to be an exciting thrill, and I just remember it was very tedious. You ever been in a car wash, Gatford?
No, I don't drive.
Well, you don't need to.
But then, no, I don't know, because I've never been... is it usual to have a passenger in the car when you go through a car wash? Isn't that sort of a solo thing?
I take the boys, because the boys find it terrifying.
Yeah, and also kind of like when you're going to get the car washed, it's not something you do on your way to the shops, it's only something you do on its own.
Well, no, I did. I got the car washed on the way here tonight.
Oh, well,
I wish I hadn't, because the petrol station, I said, I'll have your cheapest car wash, please, because you get the bronze, the silver, the gold, the platinum, the uranium. Just get it wet and soapy, and don't even blow dry it. The part of the posh cycle is they blow dry the car. Well, I'll be driving. The wind will blow it and dry it.
Blimey, do they tint it or something? What's going on?
But they had a special off on the garage. So I went in and said, I want the cheapest thing. He said, oh, no. All washes are £3 tonight, even the platinum. I went, oh, okay. Well, I'll have a platinum. But it meant you were in there for like 10 minutes. And the guy before me, caller dropped off as well. I don't know who the other caller was. A caller dropped off. Keith dropped off. Keith bottled it. But I did it, and it was. I tried to periscope it, but I couldn't get a signal in there.
No, you wouldn't get a signal in there.
Well,
are you sure that's the last word about that caller? Because I have got one last.
Yeah, no, go on.
Yeah, no, I applaud him for ringing up again.
Yeah,
because to be honest, you've been very mean to me over the years.
Well, your calls are some of the worst calls I've ever heard in my career as a presenter, but also in my career as a listener to radio. Sure. I mean, it's awful. Just.
Had any of them affected me and my mental health, I wouldn't have been calling back again. So I applaud him for ringing up.
So I'm having no negative effect on your mental health. That's okay.
No, your words literally have no effect on me.
That is. I'm going to be honest, Gatford.
Yeah, of course you can. Be honest,
That is disappointing.
Yeah, well,
I thought I was destroying you.
Nah, and I agree. 10 years ago, he would have been dust.
I just.
Also, do you remember as well that phone call? He did drop the F-bomb, and you did dump it and let him carry on. I don't know.
Did he drop the F-bomb?
He dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, in that case, I felt bad. I don't feel bad now.
No, I was going to say he's lucky because most other radio stations would have just gone to an ad break or something, or would have carried on without mentioning it. He referenced it. And then still carried on with him.
Because I don't. You know me, Gatford. I don't really remember I struggled to remember him. When he said the Mike Allen thing, it's like, oh, yeah, I remember. You said, have I ever worked for Mike Allen? But I don't really remember previous shows. As soon as the show is finished, I dump it. I dump it, because I can't retain all of that informazione.
Well, the only reason I remembered it is because I thought he's going to do a double dump in a minute, because he sounded like he was the sort of person, although he apologised for swearing. He did say, sound like, and you pointed out he was drunk and therefore unpredictable and could have said something else. But I don't know. It's not like you went on Twitter and named and shamed him. No. And
here's the thing.
Did you put him in the podcast? I don't even know. I mean,
he's in the podcast, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I think both of those phone calls are a cry for help.
Probably, yeah.
And he is. I'm making this up entirely, right? So, Jules, if I'm wrong, let me know. But he is not angry about what I said. He's angry about what I didn't say.
Yeah.
That I didn't pick up.
And good for him for ringing up. And let's hope he rings back again.
There's only one person that's banned, and she was nuts. But no one's banned. Even was it Andy? Was it Andy?
Can't remember.
He called in and he said I should kill myself or whatever it was. He said, guy. Everyone's welcome to call in, and he'll call in. He'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
So the real point or the other reason that I rang is I noticed on Twitter that you were a little bit annoyed that maybe Question Time was getting more of a viewing than you were.
No. Hang on. How did you get that idea?
I thought one of your tweets. Oh no, that was someone else.
I've just retweeted someone. That's all.
Oh, okay. I take that back then. But the point was, I don't know. Should you ever complain what you're up against, or should you promote yourself?
I don't think
it's a dilemma that I sometimes see of not just you, others do it. Of like, I mean, you've done it jokingly with Hopkins Bingo, and that's fair enough. That's poking fun.
Yeah.
But other presenters will say, "Don't watch that. Listen to me."
We got so many listeners off the back of Katie Hopkins sitting in for Ian Collins. So many new listeners.
You didn't need to do anything. You just needed to sit back and let it happen.
I never forget when I was at LBC, right, doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. The newsreader was like 10 o'clock at night. The newsreader would say, and that's the end. She to fill out the bulletin, she'd do the news and go, and on ITV tonight at 11:30, you can catch Jurassic Park. And I remember, and me and Agent Chris, it was when Agent Chris was my producer, we'd dump it. We used to dump it. Yeah. And I could never understand. I mean, it's just pure filler. And I was thinking, why would you tell them? It's like on when we were on BBC Local Radio, we'd play out adverts for like Strictly Come Dancing and
for BBC shows.
Yeah, BBC shows and Tonight on EastEnders. And sometimes I would dump them, and I think, why are we doing that, right? But people know that Strictly Come Dancing is on Saturday at 7:15, what time it is. People know that EastEnders is on tonight at 7:30. Why are we playing an advert for that? Why don't we say, if you don't fancy watching EastEnders tonight at 7:30, we've got this. We've got this on. Instead of playing a 40-second advert for you to say, tonight at 7 on the radio, we've got this. Now, you may not have heard of this show because you're normally watching the soap operas, but if you're a bit bored of them, or maybe, it's your husband likes watching the soaps, or your wife, why don't you pop upstairs, have a listen to this? You might like this. It's a bit different.
But the point I would make is don't even mention the soaps. Tell people what's on your station at that time and let them make their own mind up.
Yeah, what I disagree with, and I get told off for it here, my boss here always defends me on this, right, is I disagree with the thing of ignoring the existence of other radio stations and other TV shows. It's silly, and like the really high up people don't want me to mention other radio stations, and my boss is kind of cool with it because I think it's silly to ignore the fact that my main rival is LBC and Ian Collins, who does a show there, and I think he's a brilliant broadcaster. I think his show he's doing at the moment is boring as hell, right? and it would be.
Well, that's because it's a reaction show and there's very boring things going on.
It'll be, and and I'm not going to keep, pointing it out, but I think it's nice. It's nice to kind of flick two fingers at him because it's a bit. I don't mean it in a mean way. I know Ian, and he's a delightful gentleman, and he's an absolute legend. But and who knows? Maybe we'll lose 2 or 3 people to it. But I think it just displays a realism that is lacking from where we have to live in this bubble where we don't. Other radio stations and other TV shows don't exist.
Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too boring a call for you then.
Oh no, it was. I mean, it was by your standard, Gatford. I would give that a 2
out of
100. 0344 499 1000.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh gosh, so we've got full switchboard. Let's go to Keith. Evening, Keith.
Hello, bonsoir, hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. Well, yes. I'm hungry, actually. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too, man.
Yeah. What are we going to do about it?
Really? I don't know. I might actually order in a little bit of a snack.
What do you mean? How can you order in a snack? That means a meal.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, you hit the minimum order.
Yeah.
But you only eat a small percentage of it.
That's not possible. No human has the ability to eat to order food and then not eat all of it. No, that's insane.
Now the thing is, though, man, you know what game I'm in. I've got food. I've got food all around the place.
Yeah.
I've got food everywhere.
For those who don't know, you're a professional rib rubber.
I do that for a living. Yeah.
Rubbing the ribs.
Yeah, I rub my ribs.
Yeah, beautiful, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh,
steady. Come back to me.
Oh, sorry.
That's it. Focus.
Sorry.
Come on.
All right. So, I've got nothing for you really. I just thought I'd call up because, I don't know. It seemed like you didn't have a lot of good callers this evening. No. And do you know what?
Yeah, go on.
You know what? One thing. Gatford was your best caller this evening.
don't damn the show. Keith, say hello to Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Keith.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Why have you called?
I've called to say, bring back Eloise Carr.
Sorry? That's
Eloise.
That's controversial. I've not worked with her for about 6 years.
In what capacity?
I miss her.
Right. Well, that makes me feel slightly uncomfortable, Tom, because Eloise was a producer I worked with at another radio station, and I have a fabulous producer now, Catherine Boyle.
Bring back Kelly Betts.
Oh, for God's sakes. We're not bringing...
Start a Twitter poll. Castle Carr.
I can't bring them back, I'm afraid. It can't...
But you know how you went to that Edinburgh and you did the thing with
what?
Sarah Sophie person?
Oh yeah, who does? Sarah Sophie disappeared, right? And then when I was with Dougie, we did a little pre-show Periscope. She popped up on that. Mysterious, very mysterious.
So I have an idea that you should do a show from Eloise Carr's apartment.
Why are you obsessed with her, you pervert?
Stop her.
I love Eloise.
Well, why don't you send her a message yourself?
I could, but the show would be great with Eloise in, like a special guest.
But here's someone who used to produce me 5 years ago.
Yeah,
to a lot of you,
long time listener.
Yeah, but to a lot of you, she'll mean nothing, and it'll be weird with it's like it would be like me bringing an ex-girlfriend home for supper one night.
Yeah, awkward but fun.
I don't know. This guy's sick, Keith, but I like him.
Hey, do you know what? I mean, don't get me wrong. Kath is totally peng, all right?
Yeah.
But
we love the woman.
But Eloise was hench, bro. Seriously.
What?
We love Eloise.
What is going on? What has happened? This is awful. No, No, it's not. It's
maybe.
No, not even a maybe.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's not happening.
An
What about-
idea.
what
We'll
about
save it for
Cat
later.
versus Eloise jelly wrestling.
Oh, for God's sake! This is a human being you're talking about, guys. This is an actual, intelligent, talented human being you're talking about.
But Kelly Betts, how's she doing?
What is wrong with you? I've just texted
Love Kelly Betts.
I've just texted Kelly Betts to see if she's steady on.
Whoa.
Tom, steady on. We'll say goodbye to Tom. I think that's. We'll say goodbye to
Hey,
Tom.
I just want you to know I didn't start that. Okay.
But you did take it.
No.
You introduced jelly.
But no, I didn't. No, that wasn't me.
That was you. That was your voice.
No, it wasn't. He was doing an impression of me. I swear.
Wowzers.
I swear on the ribs. I
am lucky enough. I have worked with some amazing producers. I've also worked with some absolute turkeys. But the one I've got now is the best by a country mile.
Do you know what? I agree.
You're just saying that to so that I don't cut you off.
No, I'm not.
It didn't work. Dear me. Some people, huh? There's a story in one of the papers. I've already said I don't want any Christmas presents. No books, no CDs, nothing. Don't want nothing. I'm toying this idea of getting rid of everything. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm certainly enjoying the fantasy of it. But there's the Mail have really excelled themselves in non-racist journalism today. And they've got the most expensive presents that you can buy, right? Here we go. Look at this, a shoehorn. Who even uses a shoehorn these days? If you really need help to slip your silk-stockinged feet into your Gucci loafers, you can splurge £105 on a Milano shoehorn. It is Oh, come on. It is handmade naturally from the bone of a zebu. What is a zebu? It tells me. A special kind of South Asian cow. There is no... a special kind of South Asian cow called a zebu. You are taking the mick. It has a leather-grained handle. Has anyone... a shoehorn? Really? No. Come on, guys. Here's one. A stapler, right? A stapler. You'd think the rich would leave stapling to secretaries. But should a banker, close, urgently need to attach his lunch receipt to his expenses form, he could reach for his chrome foal 26 MoMA, designed by Henning Andreasen in 1977. It's a stapler. £100. Flipping heck. I mean, really? £100 for a stapler? Come on, guys. Oh! Look at this one. 0344 499 1000, by the way. It's a gravy boat. Right? Made by Lotus Arts de Vivre. This vessel, gravy boat, for gravy, is crafted from a nautilus shell, and lined with sterling Indian silver. Ed, it's a gravy boat, right? You know what a gravy boat is? Have a guess how much this gravy boat would cost.
It's going to be something ridiculous, like 300 quid, isn't it?
Catherine, you have a go, Catherine.
I reckon about 600.
Okay. £4,270 for a I mean, it's stunning. It's made out of a shell.
But you're going to put Bisto in that.
I think the people that can spend nearly £4,500 on a gravy boat, they'll be having like proper gravy.
If I spent that much on a gravy boat, I wouldn't put anything in it. I'd put it on the mantelpiece, be like, and this is what we spent our life savings on.
That is actually is ugly as well. That is outrageous. Rashid, Mike, stay there. I'll come to you in a minute. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Right, let's go to Mike. Evening, Mike.
Hi, Ian. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Mike. I'm good.
I did something moderately interesting this week. Moderately good, actually. And off the back of that, I learned something amazing.
Go on.
So this week, I donated stem cells, which is like the modern equivalent of bone marrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It goes to an individual, and this individual's got kind of some form of blood cancer. And so they're having chemo, and it completely destroys their ability to make blood, right? So then my stem cells go into their body, and then that will kickstart their ability to make blood again. But what I found really amazing was, so in 6 months' time, if everything, if this person's all right, fingers crossed, touch wood, they are, if you took a sample of their blood and a sample of my blood...
Yes.
...and test it in a DNA machine, or whatever they're called...
A DNA machine?
Well, who knows what it's called. It's just my blood.
Yeah.
So that person, if everything goes all right, will have my blood. They'll create my blood, not their own anymore.
Ooh, that's spooky, man.
I thought that was quite cool. I was like, wow.
That's grim. I mean, obviously, it's grim. It's wonderful and it's magical and stuff. But yeah, blood is weird.
Well, it is, but why? No, is it? Why? I don't think it is.
Well, what you just told me is weird.
I thought it's a little bit. I don't find it weird. I find that amazing. I think that's like, wow.
Did you ever mix your blood with someone and become blood brothers?
No, that's weird.
What? No.
Did anyone really do that ever?
I don't know. Did anyone ever do that ever in real life? I don't know.
You were in a high risk of infection if you did that.
Well, I mean, but we're talking pre-AIDS, of course.
That's taken a dark turn. They've nearly cured that now, haven't they?
No, but obviously, you'd be more... I'm talking about in the sort of the 70s and the early 80s. I thought everyone was doing it.
I think you're confusing blood brothers with secret handshakes.
Yeah, maybe that's it. That might be the problem. I've been suddenly hit, Mike, by an absolute wave of exhaustion. Absolute wave. Suddenly I'm shattered. I've got a busy old day tomorrow. Busy old day. Yeah.
Have on people.
Well, mate, no, it's not you. I'm trying to sort out my record label. We've got our first
7A.
Yeah, we've got a really exciting thing coming out, and I was slightly distracted during that last break because we've got my mate Scott is doing the cover, and he's done a brilliant cover, and I've sent it to my friend to have a look at it, and my friend has got back and said, "Oh no, there are certain rules that we have to follow because it's a record store day release, so we can't do this, and this," and I'm just sat there thinking, I wish I'd known that before, I wish I'd known that. So suddenly there's a little bit of tension in the air, Michael. There's a little bit.
Do you ever have time off? Obviously, I follow you on Twitter. Yes. I have noticed that you never seem not to be working. In some, even kind of on Sunday, I'm sure performing. I went to the last performance ring. Yeah. It was lots of fun. But you're always working. Do you ever have a day off? And I've got a question about having time off for you, actually. But do you ever have time off? Do you ever have a day off doing nothing?
I don't think that's possible I don't think that's possible in this world now, is it?
It depends. Do you count like looking after kids as doing something.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm thinking, showbiz wise. No, I don't. I'm trying to throw myself into as much work as I can at the moment to stop me going insane.
I suppose if that helps. My other question was, do radio stations and like TV stations, do they have Christmas parties like everyone else?
Yeah, we went to our Christmas party last night.
But you were working, weren't you?
Yeah, well, so I went for 42 minutes. It was hosted by our new bosses at News Corp. It was very nice of them to invite me. I saw Jeremy Clarkson there. What do you mean there's another one next week? When? For whom? No one's told me about it. No, there's another one next week, apparently. No one's told me about it.
You get invited. I'm sure
I am contractually obliged to attend. This is true. This isn't even a joke. I am contractually obliged to attend functions like that. So I need to know when that is, because I am contractually obliged. But yeah, there was a News Corp one last night, and it was Clarkson was there, Gove was going to be there, Kelvin Mackenzie was going to be there, and I went, and it was very nice to be invited. Thank you very much indeed. Very nice of our new bosses to invite us, and it was up the top of the Shard, and I went, and I felt awkward in that, as I do in any social situation.
I feel you.
And I stayed 42 minutes, and then I left.
At least you had a good excuse.
Exactly. Blinding excuse. Yes. It was,
I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to this. How do you get one of these golden tickets? I wouldn't be able to come, but I'd like to try and win one.
Oh, well, we're not giving one away tonight, Michael.
How would you... Do you have to,
Well, hang on, if you couldn't come, you couldn't have one.
Oh, I thought it was like a competition you had to achieve. You have to, do something.
Well, no, you have to be able to attend.
Can I not just take part in the competition?
But then you don't win. There's not a literal golden ticket.
I know that.
So what would you? So you'd just be denying someone who could come the chance to come?
Oh no, I would. I'd politely say, do you know what? Give it to somebody. I'd act all gracious.
What?
And I'd be like, give it to someone more deserving than me. I just want to take part and have the potential for victory.
What?
Sad.
Thanks for calling, Mike. 0344 499 1000. Rashid?
Ian, how is my line today?
This sounds like a good line, Rashid. Wagwan.
Not Nagwan. You know, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but that caller, that was bad.
Yeah.
I think if he listens to the show a lot, he should know that you deal with everybody kind of like that sometimes.
Don't
take it personal, man. Don't take it personal.
Well, and I don't want to upset anyone and cause them any, mental anguish. But also, I'm not gonna, if someone says something stupid or it's not good or it's my. I don't think I was harsh on him at all. Now that he doesn't even remember what he said, then I'm not that. And also, drunk people really annoy me. Here's the thing, right? Drunk people really annoy me because they're boring and they're arrogant, right? And as someone who used to drink a lot and used to be boring and arrogant, I have really very little patience with drunk people telling me what to do, and I indulge them, and I will let them to get away with a certain amount, but at some point I will put down a barrier and say, no, you're talking rubbish, mate, off you go. And I just find drunk people absolutely tedious.
Well, I thought you was a bit. I thought you may have been a bit distracted because sometimes you're taking a call, you're messing around on whatever, and you didn't get his nuances in his call, but you did because you mentioned that it might have been a cry for help. Because I was thinking, why is he drunk on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
And he mentioned about his anxiety and his depression, and is he drinking to cover that? And
who knows? Oh no, and I don't want to second. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. All I know is that. Anyway, I don't want to bang on about him because it's not fair.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Peace and love to everybody. Ian, I was going to say, man, a guest suggestion, maybe for the new year. Akala, have you ever interviewed Akala?
Who's Akala?
Akala, Miss Dynamite's brother. Miss Dynamite's brother.
I'm turning. There's not even a camera here, and I'm turning to the camera and doing my Oliver Hardy face. I'm turning back.
Carla.
Yeah, that isn't going to happen.
Okay.
What? Who is a Carla?
A Carla is a spoken word rapper, and he's Miss Dynamite's brother, and he comes, and he's a bit of a historian. He's like, I don't know if he's a qualified historian, but he knows his stuff. He goes on chat shows. He had a debate with Tommy Robinson some time ago from the EDL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does those type of things. I was just thinking, like, you know, some of the callers are a bit, for want of a better word, racist. Then it would be the counterbalance to some of their arguments.
Hang on, I'm the counterbalance to their racism.
Okay.
We don't need someone. We don't need someone called Arcala to come on and counterbalance.
Arcala. Get it right. It's Arcala.
Okay, but you don't. We don't. I counter. What is it?
By the way.
Yes.
They haven't cancelled Brexit.
Oh, what is wrong with everyone tonight? Ah, dear. 0344 499 1000. Tony, Evan, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
There's a toy. Well, what are you looking at? Okay, so there's a toy train, right? So this is a toy train. This is expensive Christmas presents. The value of working model engines has rocketed. And this is the FT, the Financial Times, right, endorses large-scale models as charming additions. So this is a model train that's 8 foot long, right? So it's a proper working steam engine. Get on the microphone, Kath. Jesus.
Sorry.
Have a guess how much?
8 foot.
8 foot
proper
long.
Working
proper
thing.
working thing. Imagine it going around the garden.
Oh, about 20 grand.
Yeah. £170,000. I mean, for crying out
Could be no garden for that.
Flipping heck. Fair play, though. Fair play. It's cheaper than an annual pass on Southern Rail.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of politics there. I'm not shy to politics. Eben!
Hey, Ian.
Hey, Eben. Hey, that was sparky.
Hey. I'm in a really good mood today.
What the hell is going on with you, man?
Because I've been accepted for a job.
Hey, this is great. All of our listeners are getting jobs. Well, Dana got one that starts this week. You've got... What job is it, Eben?
Do you know Deliveroo?
I do know Deliveroo, yes.
I'm going to be a cyclist.
Hey! Come on, man. Listen, okay, I can... Congratulations. I can ask you the... are you good at cycling?
Yeah, fairly good.
Well, you got to be really good at it.
No, I'm in a cycling club and I've done some long distance.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Well, are you good at cycling with a massive box on your back?
Yeah, I should be.
Okay. How does it work? What's the are you assigned to like a certain restaurant, or do you get or is it like Uber and you get like a ping on your phone that says, right, Mr. Chan's Chinese restaurant, there's an order, and you get that, and then you go and get the order, and then you have to drive down to 36 Crookshank Street. Is that how it works?
Yes, it's kind of. It's like you're in a zone where all delivery drivers like rest before they get a notification.
Right.
And if you click the notification before them, you get that order, and you get that delivery, like little bonus.
Hey, that sounds all right, doesn't it? That sounds cracking. Well done.
Thank you.
What are you gonna do with the cash, Eben?
I'm saving up, hopefully for a car.
Hey, to be young, and to be saving up for a car, flipping heck. I'm
not looking forward to the insurance.
Well, how much does it? Because you're a young man. How much does is car insurance for young people these days?
Let's say if I had a Hyundai i10.
Yeah.
That would cost me the cheaper £600 a year.
Hey, do you know what? That's not bad. I thought it was going to be more. My insurance, right? Because I'm a crap driver, and B, because of my job, my insurance is about £1,300 a year. And it's been more than that. It's been closer to £2,000 at some point when I was doing a lot of telly, because they're worried that I'm going to have, like, Paul McCartney and Burt Reynolds in my car. And if I crash with McCartney and Reynolds in the car and they get whiplash, or their wigs fall off, then there's going to be all hell to pay. But £600, yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to persuade my dad to pay half or something.
And how's that going?
Not that well.
I'm going to meet your dad at the weekend, aren't I? Is he coming with you to Performance Ring?
Yes, he is.
Right. Well, you leave it to us, Eben. Me and Kath will work on him. We will charm the pants off him, and we'll get him to pay at least half of the insurance. Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, that'll be very good.
Well, don't say anything to him. Will you leave it to me and Kath? We will.
Okay.
We will work a little bit of magic on Sunday night at Performance Ring, Eben. We'll sort that out for you.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Oh, congratulations on that. It's not. I remember my first job when I was 15 was working in B-Jams, and it was awful. And the first day I did it, Saturday, 8 hours, never worked before, worked 8 hours, and I went home and I puked up because I found it too stressful. But I worked there for about 3 years, and the joy of being a young person and actually earning, working hard and getting a few quid at the end of the week that you can then do with whatever you want. And I think I saved half of it and spent half of it. And it's an incredibly satisfying feeling. And, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Drinks on Eben! Yay! Sunday night, Eben is buying the drinks for the entire audience to celebrate his new job.
I've got an induction next Friday.
Brilliant. Do you get to, I can't remember, do they wear, like, branded jackets? I know the boxes are branded.
Yes.
You get the jackets and all of that stuff.
But that's a bit of a con.
Oh, but you got to pay for it?
Because you have to have a jacket.
Yeah.
Trousers, a phone holder to go on your bike.
Yeah, how much does that all cost?
£150.
Flippin' heck! Those Deliveroo bosses are geniuses!
And they take it down to your salary bit by bit.
I bet they do. How much would it... How you don't have to answer this if you don't want, but how long would it take you to earn £150 Deliverooing?
£6 an hour. Plus £1 for every delivery I make.
Yeah.
And I get to keep all the tips.
Well, OK, now, you said you get £6 an hour plus £1 for every delivery. Does that mean that if you didn't deliver anything, you'd still get £6 an hour?
I'm not sure.
I would investigate that, Eben, because that sounds like a great little scam.
Mm.
And the tips, how do the tips work? Because you can, I've only ordered delivery twice, I think. And you get an option, is this right, when you order the food to pay a tip as well, online?
They say that people can give you a tip at the door.
Yeah, I wouldn't bank on that. What happens to the tip?
I'm trying to think of a polite way to ask.
Yeah, I know. You just stand there and... But if the tips that are done online, do you get to see those?
I'm not sure. It may be split to the restaurant.
Well, you know, you be interesting to see how you get on with that. You're a fast cyclist. I'm sure you'll be making millions before you know it.
Mm.
Nice one, Eben. Listen, best of luck. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday at Performance Ring. He's bringing his dad. And we can give him a round of applause for the film that we showed of people jumping off into the water last time. He can come and claim his free round of applause. Tony!
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm all right, I'm hungry.
Are you going to go and get something to eat?
Yeah, I am going to get something to eat on the way home. And I've got a busy day tomorrow. I've booked circuits at the gym tomorrow at 12:30. And then I've got to go and do a voiceover for 2 hours, stuck in a tiny little booth, sweating like a pig. So fun day, fun day. What have you got for us, Tony?
Well, I've sent you a couple of tweets asking you a question, and I just thought I'm just going to phone you up and ask you in person.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I've recommended a film to you.
Yes.
Because you come on quite often and say you've watched films that are rubbish.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, earlier I said to my partner, Iain said he'd watched Whiplash.
Yeah. Terrible
And I
film.
gave him your synopsis, but probably down to a third. And he said, yep, that's about it. It was just abuse.
The Whiplash was awful, and the more I think about it, the more I think it was an absolute pile of dog's mess. Terrible film. No, not my tempo. No, not my tempo. Little fast. Dragging a little. Nope, not my tempo. Oh, shut up, you smug git. Everyone in that film. And I said that the girlfriend was the only good character. Even she was a bitch. When he asks her out, he builds up the courage to ask her out, and she goes, that's assault. Get out of here. And he's like, oh, God, no. She says, I was only joking. I think, and everyone in that film is completely unlikable, and they all get what they deserve. And the best way that film could have ended is at the end of the concert when he does the brilliant drum solo, right, is that a suicide bomber explodes in the theatre and kills everybody, because everybody was obnoxious in that movie. Awful.
Well, I love films, Iain.
Okay.
And I want to recommend a film to you.
Yes.
That I think you will really like.
I bet I won't, or I've seen it.
Wild Bill.
What the hell is that? It sounds awful.
No, it's not. It's not. Honestly, Iain. Oh, my God. It's a hidden gem. It's by Dexter Fletcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from Press Gang.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
Babyface. It's just very, very good. It's gritty.
A street toughened parole finds his two boys abandoned by their mum and fending for themselves. Time to step up or not.
You know, you've spoken. I've heard you speak recently about characters saying, "Oh, I didn't like them," or whatever. If you watch this film from beginning to the very last frame, I promise you, Iain. It
gets a 7.2 on IMDb. It gets some 9s from the punters. Yeah, fine. I think I could sit through that movie. But if Tony, I don't enjoy that movie.
Name your price.
You are dead to me. Okay?
Oh, no.
Okay?
Oh, no.
Okay?
No, I'll go with that. I'm so confident.
Okay.
But you've got to promise me something.
Yeah, I promise you, Tony.
You've got to watch it to the last frame.
Well, I'll give it 20 minutes.
Last frame.
Well, okay, I'll give it 20 minutes, right? And if it's rubbish, I'm switching off.
Could you give it... Okay. I'll go with that.
Okay.
I'll go with that. There's a couple of other things I wanted to go with.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've come in blind tonight. I haven't been listening.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I was listening last night.
Yes.
And you were talking about Buddha.
Yes.
Girl or boy.
But Buddha changes its form to be all kinds of genders. Yeah.
Well, I've got a question here that will combine the question last night of children's TV and boy-girl in one thing.
Trippy Tucker and Monkey Magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, did I miss it?
No, it was meant to be. It was meant to be a boy, but it's a really the story. It's a very effeminate, almost genderless. Effeminate is a contradiction, but it's a very effeminate young innocent boy, and it was played by a girl. And she died. The girl that played Trippy Tucker died really young of leukemia.
Oh.
Died very, very young.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you see, yeah.
But that doesn't surprise me because I think when I was watching
she
it...
looked poorly, didn't she?
No.
Did she?
No comment. No comment. And on scary TV shows also,
Yes.
for Tomorrow People.
Never watched it. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of its legend, but I never saw it.
Well, I don't think it will have stood the test of time. So
hardly any of them do. Tony, we're at the end of the show, dear listener. It looks like, to quote Michael Nesmith of the Monkees singing the song Circle Sky from the movie Head, it looks like we've made it once again. Yes, it looks like we've made it to the end, dear listener. We have. Don't forget, you can download podcasts if you go to iTunes and type in my name. Who knows what might pop up? And tonight from 10, the first 2 hours, new and newish callers only, please. And then after that, it's an hour of straight to air. Ed, thank you. Catherine, thank you. Callers, some of you, thank you. Others, have a think.
Talk Radio. 24-hour radio debate and entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.